we go. Alright. Hello. Can anybody hear me? Can everybody hear me okay?
Okay, rolling.
It's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds. Or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure. Or is it 14,000?
What about this Ganasty Ganok character? Now, I
All right,
understand
cool.
he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Simple?
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom.
No threat?
Besides, he is ugly.
Ugly? That does it!
Huh? Looks like I've got some things to do.
And let's turn the music back on.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world, then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to
Like
the next
super
world.
quiet. It was pretty weird.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Alright. Here we go. Hold on. I'm not seeing all the messages. Alright, let's see who we got in here. Alright, hey, Jonas is here. Got Sega Herman, Chicky Boy. Dat Person. Trey Shepard, Tabriz. No beds, alright. And Mark is here, and probably... gonna want voice chat, so... Oh, these things, why are they moving? They're floating. It's magic. Alright, and then, okay, I'm gonna pause it just 1 second then. There we go.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your
Am I
horns
alive?
on, Spyro.
Yeah,
You
you're on
have
here.
much to learn first.
Yeah.
Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's
How are
helping and
things?
protecting you.
I'm good.
Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
Yeah.
Can anybody in the chat hear Mark? Is he loud enough?
Am I crystal clear? In this house, we protect the Delvin.
The Delphin.
He's pure. He has a very accurate voice.
Quite.
Oh, I cannot wait for these particular commissions I'm getting
Spyro,
for an
press the
upcoming
jump
Spyro
button
video.
twice to
That's all I'll
glide.
say on
And,
stream.
and don't be afraid.
Afraid of
I
what?
can't wait till
Falling from high
I get my
mountain peaks,
commissions for my
plummeting into
upcoming video
prehistoric
thumbnails.
glaciers.
Oh,
Nice.
that.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. That person asked if you think Cindy will be in Spyro 4.
Maybe. It's hard to say right now.
I was looking at that question and I didn't know that person is what the was the username. So when you were naming off everybody earlier about who was in the stream, you just go, that person. I thought you were referencing me. You were like, oh, here, so and so, so and so. Oh, that person, that guy.
Push. Dat PR, son.
That PR, son. Dishonored cowards in here. Wish Dragon Bard to come with you. I don't know why they took out his
Cool flash. Do that
little
again.
extra bit
The
from the
artisan's
original
boss is through a portal
voice
in the
line.
dragon mouth, but you're not
Or
yet
dialogue,
ready,
I guess.
Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
What do you mean took out the extra bit?
They kind of in the beta.
Oh,
how
the
he
beta,
had
okay.
The little extra bit of dialogue, and they didn't carry it over to the original game. Sorry, I should have clarified.
Okay.
from, like,
Yeah,
the
well,
original.
because when you said, like, yeah, I was like, do you mean, because the only thing I remember having extra dialogue is the beta. Like, specifically, I'm not sure what piece of dialogue you're talking about, but I do remember something for the beta that they removed in the retail version was, I forgot what he says, but then Spyro goes, "Aww," and it's really cute.
Extra Spyro. No, wide Spyro.
Wide Spyro.
Wide Spyro is the best one.
He really likes wide Spyro for some reason.
And it's just a really wide anyone is just a really fucking funny image to me.
If somebody was just wide.
Yeah, imagine you're walking down an alleyway and you see a wide person coming towards you.
That'd be scary.
But they're not a robber or like a mugger or anything. They're just walking down, but they're just wide. And I don't mean fat. I mean their proportions are stretched. You should do a wide Miharu render.
I do not want. No one's wide Miharu.
I mean, I could do that. I could just take one of your renders. Not that I would release it publicly, but just for my own entertainment. I would just paste your render into freaking like Premiere, and then just drag one edge and make you wide. It'd be really funny.
Do not want to be wide.
After you've freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex.
Where it goes, why does
thingamajigger.
Spyro's tail tip
It'll
look like a
take you
drill
back
bit?
to the artisan home. But first...
Well, it's made out of the same... I mean, it kind of
your
has...
story.
I'm assuming it's the same little material... I say material, but like his horns, but it's supposed to be tipped like a little flame.
Yeah.
Sonic Car says, I always thought it was a seashell. It just has a little dragon tip. That doesn't sound right. A little tail tip.
A little dragon tip.
No.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Bad dragon.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Does anybody here know what bad dragon is?
I don't know if I want to.
Okay.
God damn it.
It's a dragon tip, and the only thing I thought of was bad dragon.
It looks like a bugle.
Yeah, Theropod Hunter knows.
Oh man. Racist Spyro the bad dragon.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms,
Is this
you
some
save
scary
your
thing I
progress.
don't need to know about?
That could be useful.
It's just
if
a
you run into
site.
Trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
That's all I need to know.
It's like a site that sells like merchandise. I think they sell that kind of merchandise.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
That sells products.
Aaron, please.
Oh man, I wish D-chan was here right now.
Because she would not stop.
You know, they would tell you exactly what it is.
Oh god. My phone fell and
Watch
the
the
battery came off.
dragonfly,
Thankfully the
Spyro.
battery's still
His
intact.
color indicates his power.
Oh my god.
When he eats butterflies, he stays strong, like me.
Spyro.
Sure.
Ah, Spyro. That shit.
I was gonna ask, how has that been going?
It's been going pretty well, though. I need to, like, it's a lot funnier when you're watching me play, though, because we always think of like super good stories. I got some new mods.
Oh my god.
And
So-
I got new animations for existing mods.
To catch you up to speed, Miharu got a bunch of sick mods, yo, for The Sims 4, some of which are very, but the funniest scenarios have been,
It's true.
from them.
We got like the funniest stuff. Ow! Hey.
My favorite addition is Bonehilda. Because it's the voice we gave her is sort of a cross between, like, it started as just the straight up
It's like a Boston like Jewish grandmother.
it's the best.
We started out just copying the inventor droid, but then it just kind of became its own thing.
Yeah, Bonehilda. I mean, that's not the name that I gave her. Apparently, that's just her actual name. It's
Her name
all
is
one thing.
Bonehilda.
Yeah.
Because it's like Brunhilde.
I wanted to call her Bonetilda.
Spyro, my friend. How about a hint on gliding?
Trace says, I have a question. Which designs for
the
Spyro
longest
and the rest of the
glide, press
characters
the
from the
jump
original
button at the
trilogy
top of your jump,
would you prefer
and
for
try
Spyro
pressing
4?
the
The
action button to
redesigns,
drop down
or to
mid-flight?
stay, like redesigned again, or to stay with the Reignited designs?
Let's see. I mean, I think it'd be best right now if they just stuck to the Reignited designs. Because I think they're all pretty good. I mean, there's like of the main characters that I think we'll be seeing, I don't think any of them are like bad. There's none of them that I like can't stand to look at, you know?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, if it's anything like, if you're playing anything Trey in this in vein of how Crash 4 like kind of took the Insane designs and then just kind of like updated them a bit more to be a little bit more original for this new game, I could see something like that for a new Spyro game if they took the Reignited designs and didn't tweak them a whole lot, or didn't change them a whole lot, but did little tweaks. That'd be fine.
Especially since, like, if Beenox is working on it, because they've already gone with that, they, you know, kind of have the assets for those designs, so.
Exactly, yeah.
They would just go with what they have.
Chicken Boy says, I always thought Spyro's tip was like that of a waffle cone.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I can see that. I don't know. I used to stare at his tail as a kid, and like I don't know what it looked like to me. It just looked like a little flame spirally thing.
It just looks like like I don't know. What does it look like to me? It looks like a beehive.
Sorta, yeah. It looks like it has like little layers to it, or like it's a little cone shape. Yeah, Spyro's colors and Crash's colors just like work so well. Like just having those good like complementary colors. So if you look at a specific shade of purple and orange, that's like automatically associated with Spyro, and you look at a certain shade of orange and blue, and it's like automatically, or even just straight orange and blue, it's just straight up that's Crash's colors. Ethnator's here, what's up?
Hey.
How do you think Spyro would feel with us all staring at his tail tip? I don't know. He'd be like, bruh.
What are you doing?
He'd say, supercharge, excellent.
And take a picture, it'll last longer.
Carl's Rocky Spyro would say that.
Take a picture, it'll last longer.
Fat boy.
Fat boy. That was Tom Kenny, though.
Yeah, that was. Hey, got a donation. Yay.
Read our donation, please.
It's Theropod, right? That's how you said
Theropod,
it?
yes.
Hunter?
Theropod Hunter.
Okay. With 5 euros. Asking or saying
5 euros.
That's right, because what was it? I've been watching a lot of Caddy's streams, so when he gets donations, I try to pay attention to what symbols are used and what he says that they are.
Oh,
so I think that's euros.
I wasn't sure if
I'm
you'd escaped
not
those
wrong.
annoying little creatures.
If I am, whatever.
Of course
I'm
they
sorry.
wouldn't bother
He says, I wonder if the
me,
4th
but
season of Homeworld of Avalar could be in the
their
4th
metal
game. That'd be
armor
kind of
is
cool.
fireproof, but a charge
Yeah,
attack
if
will
there's
take
like a
care of
spring
them.
homeworld, that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for the donation, Theropod.
Let's see, Ray says, I think they'll stick with the Reignited design since they're not like the Ensign designs where they're limited by how the characters can express emotions before it looks off. Not the case with Reignited and Crash 4. Yeah.
It's so odd to like imagine what Crash 4 would have looked like if they had gone with the Insane designs.
I don't know. That's the weird part about it. On one hand, I'm glad to see that they decided to not take the easy way out, because that'd be the easy way out. I mean, even as far back as CTR, Beenox could have definitely done their own take on the designs and all that, and keep it like the classics, but make it their own, which is what Twister Bob did. Instead, they just straight up took all the Ensign assets and then built on top of that. And then, of course, when it came to adding all the other characters that weren't in Insane, that was of their own design. But
yeah.
I don't know. Because a lot of the jokes and a lot of the movements in the cutscenes probably wouldn't work as well, I feel. But that's also coming from the fact that I already knew ahead of time. If you paid attention to certain, I think it was either little behind-the-scenes bits from animators or is at one of their panels or something. Not only do they show off some like model rigging and stuff, but they also showed little test animations. And I was actually, I think I'm free to say this, so I hope it's not a big deal. That even one of the animators from Insane Twan did show me something ahead of time before the actual artist himself was allowed to put it up on Twitter. They were messing with Crash's animations and trying to see how far they could stretch the cartoony factor.
Yeah.
And it looked really fine in those test animations, but then you look at the animations in Insane, and they're still cartoony, but like in game as it's running in game, it looks like they ended up limiting his expressions and everything else too, and I don't know why that was or what happened there, but it seemed like what they were trying to achieve with Insane in those test animations and stuff, Christopher Bob actually pulled off with all the characters.
Some people are saying Spyro is a peacekeeper. No, I think Spyro has more the looks of an artisan's dragon. And
yeah, kinda.
It would make more sense because he starts off here.
Chicken Boy says, amazing how he uses his tail as a chair. Ooh, I believe Seth Bryan is here. Hello.
Yes, Saffron.
That's how you say it?
Big enemies like this Nork with the club cannot be charged.
Big enemies like this can walk with a club, but cannot be charged.
The Sonic Coward says, fun fact, in most fantasies that have shields that are made of metal, that usually means that the gunpowder is a thing or dragons are a thing. I mean, pretty much. Historically, it was very rare that shields would be made of metal. Well, thankfully in Spyro, well, at least in the OG Spyro 1, both existed. Because the Lamar Commandos had actual weaponry.
So I always thought Spyro was an artisan, personally, just because he starts out here and like judging like going from the original looks of the artisan's dragon, because like now they all look unique, and it's like there's no like you can't group them together much anymore. You sort of can by like how like their clothes and stuff, but it's harder to group them together a little bit.
You have to group them in Reignited more so off their occupation than off just their design.
Yeah.
Since from the design perspective, they only made a couple of models in the original, and then they're just copy and pasted everywhere.
Yeah, but because Spyro has no occupation per se, and he just, he's just a plain little dragon who has no clothes yet. He needs to earn his clothes.
Earn the right to wear clothes.
I always thought he looked more like an artisan. Especially since he but also that adult Spyro, or the dragon that looked like adult Spyro in the original manual, that used the model of an artisan's, I believe.
Yes.
So it's just like little things like that.
John's here. Hello. Ray says, plus I think the Insane style is fine for the PS1 remakes because those games weren't as technically intensive as the later games, but I think wouldn't work for a new game like Crash 4.
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the right
fanboy
stick
man,
to
what's
get
up?
a good look.
Hey.
Ray says it's interesting that with the multiple Spyros theory, the OG/Reignited Spyro is the most recent Spyro in the timeline. Yeah.
Yeah. Dinator says he's wondering when I would stream again. Well, yeah, because,
Thanks,
like,
Spyro.
I
had the worst itch on the
my
tip of
last
my
video
knee.
went up
Did you
last
know
week,
that you get your longest
and
glides by pressing the jump
I wanted
button at the
to
very top of your jump?
I wanted to work on another video, but then I got distracted with all this Sims 4 mod shit, and then I've been playing that a lot, so I haven't been able to work on my stuff. And so, but I want to get, at least the video that I was working on, I want to get that up by the end of the week. So while everyone's waiting, I thought that I'd stream. Just to let people know that I'm not dead.
TD Sonic says I think Spyro 4 will get announced at E3. Well, I don't know if E3... I was just having a conversation with this with my grandma and my brother before I started to stream. Even though they set dates and everything for E3 this year, just because not a whole lot's been cleared up in terms of the virus and everything yet, we don't know if they're going to stick to that or if they're going to delay another year for any public kind of, you know, traveling over there for stuff. So there's always the possibility that this might be likely because E3, speaking from experience since I went 3 years in a row, E3 tickets start getting sold this month. It's really like around now, like early February. I haven't heard about tickets being sold, but I haven't been keeping up, so there's always a chance that they're going to try and have it run this year. But because I'm not prepared for that, and I don't... what happened?
I usually get that guy right there.
Oh, I heard a little thump from your end. I didn't know if that was that your breath on the
What?
mic? I heard like a... and then you just went, fuck. I'm like, oh, did you drop something? What happened?
I didn't do anything.
Okay. So I'm not in the position to go this year again, so like that's fine. But Summer Game Fest might replace E3 this year if they decide to delay it again, or else they'd already be selling tickets around now, ish. That might be too early of an announcement or late of an announcement though for it to be halfway through this year. Seeing as we've been getting basically one kid-friendly game and at least one more mature game or T or what have you per year, I'm thinking that even though we don't have an announcement yet, we might get one really soon, and then whatever they're planning, whether it's some more Crash or another something for Spyro, will probably come out by the end of this year. And Spyro's looking more likely because if Beenox ended off in 2020 with CTR and they were done making content for it, that must mean that they've already gotten the green light to start their next project, which we know they're already working on their next project because when they made the announcement that the Beenox update from CTR would be the last update, they then said they're already moving on. Not only were they helping with Crash 4 and with Tony Hawk's 1+2, they're working on something right now that they can't talk about. So we know something's in the works. If it's been in the works since about 2020, maybe even late 2019, because a lot of these devs tend to multitask, they'll already have a good, strong development time for whatever they're doing. So if they make the announcement soon and then give themselves a few more, about another half a year's worth of work, or so, it could be out. Something could be out by like November or something of this year, if I had to guess. It could be Spyro. Who knows?
I don't know. It's crazy how many people I've seen like go around like claiming that they know like what Spyro 4 is gonna be called. Like, they already know. It's like, Spyro 4 is gonna be called this. It's like, what is with a bunch of people, like, claiming that they know shit? Like, who are you? What are your sources?
I mean, there are some credible leakers that I've kind of seen around. There were a couple people. There was this one woman, I forgot who it was, who did almost semi-accurately predict Reignited, and she was known for some Smash Brothers stuff back in the day.
Hold on.
I covered
Not ready.
I covered her in a video leading up to around the time that Falcon and Bob was doing prior to the announcement of Spyro Reignited. So there's certain people that if you talk to them, or you try and get into contact, or you even just go back to their history and see what they've talked about in terms of other games and doing certain things here and there. Some of them are pretty credible. I've seen a couple. I never talked to them, but I've seen them.
There are some people who are, but then there are a bunch of people that I've never heard of, and just like go around claiming stuff that's not true. It's just like, who are you?
I don't know.
And like they always say a bunch of crap that sounds like completely made up. Like, it doesn't even sound clever.
Spyro 4 Attack of the Skyline. Oh, Marion Benson's in here. Totally Kyle. Thomas Roberts. Delta Wolf.
Totally Kyle. Totally.
Totally. Who's Totally Kyle?
You don't know who Totally Kyle is, dang it.
He probably doesn't know who I am. I don't know, I'm sorry. Hello,
no, I meant Totally Kyle is a reference to the frickin' Amanda show.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh, Lord. He goes, totally. And he was played by Drake Bell, says Delta Wolf. I mean, I didn't watch any of that stuff growing up. I don't know. Trust me, if I had known that I heard the freaking theme song as a kid, I would have lost my shit. Been like, oh my god, this sounds like Spyro.
I did have that experience.
I mean, my experience, again, was Crash, because I watched Clifford and I go, oh, that almost sounds like Crash 2 music, almost. And then I later found out, oh, that was the same Josh Mansell? Oh, that's awesome.
Spyro 4, the fourth game.
Spyro 4 Gateway to Glimmer. Left for Spyro. Spyro goes to shopping and catches the bubonic plague. Yep. Bless you. That's the, that's the fourth game. My uncle works at Activision.
My uncle works at Activision. Apparently my uncle actually is a founder of Activision.
Spyro 5, the search for Spyro 4. Spyro 4, the shipping wars.
That was actually really funny when I looked at the Activision founders and I saw like my uncle's actual name and I was like, what the hell? Okay.
What if it really was him, though?
It was not, but...
I was saying, what if, though? Because that would be awesome. Then you have your in, and then you can get me in.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
true.
Into what, but into something.
I could definitely get you in... to McDonald's.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Spyro 4, my uncle works at Activision. Spyro 4, there's your game now. Stop bugging us about Spyro 4.
Filing moneybags as taxes.
Spyro 3 1/4, the smell of fear. Spyro 9 3/4.
Spyro 3.5.
Spyro 1.5.
Spyro 1.5.
It's just Sparks' adventure. Sparks and a hunter.
Sparks and Hunter
knew each other before Sparks met Spyro, but he never told him because all I can say is. Spyro didn't know what he meant.
I wish Spyro had like little little character spin-off games.
I mean, they were going to get the Age of 9 one.
Yeah. But like for the other characters and stuff, like Bianca.
This is Bianca, the origin story. Death by degrees. Death by Bianca. Spyro 4, the many resurrections of Ripto.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on! I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. Toasty has many tricks up his sleeve.
Spyro 4 can't think of a name for the game.
Spyro 4, that's it. We couldn't think of anything else.
Spyro 4, the one after Spyro 3.
It's got
Spyro
a friend.
4.
They all have friends naming conventions. Damn you, stupid dog.
Spyro 4, the one where Bianca actually learns good magic.
Actually learns good magic. Oh, where's the 5 that I missed?
Spyro 4, enter the what now?
Enter the who?
Spyro 4, more dragon husbandos from Miharu.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes. More Espondos, so.
Spyro 7, every girl in middle school is a crush on Spyro. I mean, that already happened. You have Laura and Ember and Cinder. He's getting all the babes.
Will Spyro grow up in the next game? Well, I don't know, but should he?
I see you.
And I have a video about if he should.
I was gonna say.
World if you like.
Check the future of Spyro series on the Miharu channel. If you had your own TV channel, what would you call it?
Miharu Plus. That's my streaming service.
Oh god. Catch all the reviews and top 5s and 10s and discussion videos on
If I had a
Plus.
streaming service, how many people would actually pay for it?
Probably would. Spyro 4, we just edited Spyro 2, so you have to play through it twice.
Welcome to Peacekeepers. Look how our treasure has been stolen and turned against us. Please, recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
What was the other one? Spyro 4, Dawn of the Dragon Part 2. Avian Nest, hello.
Hey, Avian Nest. What's up?
Delta Wolf, come on, bruh. I've seen you in multiple streams, and you've been in multiple streams with me talking. So, this is what I'm talking about, man. So is Mark or whatever his name chatting with me, Haru? Nah, I'm in the video game. Hi, everyone. This is an interactive video game that Aaron's playing.
Cosmos TF. Hello.
Also, you spelled my name wrong. It's not a K, it's a C.
Yeah, it's a C.
If Crash has been redesigned to look like he fits in with the Spyro universe, would this possibly mean another Spyro Crash crossover? That'd be pretty dope. I still want my freaking Crash / Spyro platformer. Yeah. Got a plane. God, how loud is that?
That's really loud, actually.
Sorry. Hold on.
Hey, Adam's bitch ass. What's up?
What the hell? That's fun. This part had a multiplayer game since Chicken Boy. I don't know. They haven't really ever done much out of the way of multiplayer for Spyro, as far as I can remember. Ethan says Marcus Murray's AI companion. Also, you spelled my name.
A good job protecting you.
Spelled it
Make sure to keep him strong.
Someone asked how many times
by
I
feeding
played through
him
these
lots
games.
of butterflies.
I don't remember.
More than 5.
It's a lot. I've done it a lot.
Ironhide, what's up? Spyro 4, back to the sewers. After fast forward, they went back to the sewers.
They went back to the future.
Spyro 4, Spyro Saves Christmas.
I'm gonna try to do the jumping. Oh god, this is actually...
Tell 12 fast if you've seen the new Hell of a Boss episode.
I haven't seen it yet.
Sam, I need to check it out at some point. Spyro 4 into the Dragonverse. Avian S asked, what sort of other games do you play besides Spyro?
A lot of stuff. I also like Crash Bandicoot, Ratchet and Clank. I like sort of action RPG-ish things. Mostly open world stuff. Like I love Horizon. I like Dragon Age, Mass Effect. And then like other platformer games like Banjo, mostly Banjo-Tooie. Star Fox Adventures, and I also like Star Fox Assault. I'm not a big Nintendo person. I like some of the games, but I'm not a huge Nintendo person. I played like Majora's Mask and for 3DS, and I like that one. But I haven't really played a Mario game except for like Mario Kart for like Wii a little bit, and then like a little bit of Odyssey. So like I'm not a big like Nintendo fan. I'm not really into Legend of Zelda, Mario, or anything like that whole lot. Let's see. I really love the Ace Attorney series. I've played all the mainline games and then one of the spin-off games. I like Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper, except for those games in particular. I really only like the first game. So I like the first Jak and Daxter, and then I like the first Sly Cooper. And I also dabble a little bit in survival horrors sometimes. RE4 is one of my favorites. I like the original Resident Evil remake. The one for the GameCube, which I played on Steam a while back for
Spyro.
Halloween.
Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
And
Destiny?
It's
I
all
just
right.
want to kick some.
Just toast those
It's just a little
enemies
hard
and
to
collect the
get through
treasure.
without like a guide. So yeah, it's Resident Evil and stuff like that. I like Silent Hill as well. Last of Us, I played a bit of Last of Us. It's all right. Like I know it's supposed to be like a phenomenon and like it's supposed to be like a masterpiece, but like it's good. I liked what I played, but like it's not like I can't really get into it a whole lot. And let's see. I really like adventure kind of games where you like explore a lot. Like I said, I like open world games. I really love the Uncharted series, and I played some of the Tomb Raider games as well. But not the original Tomb Raider. The newer ones. And let's see what. Well, yeah, I like survival horror. Like, not a lot though. Just a little bit. Like I said, it's mostly just like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Specifically, I like, remake for the GameCube. RE4 is my favorite. I like the RE2 remake. I did a playthrough of that, which you could find on my channel. Silent Hill, I've never played the original, but I really like Silent Hill 2. That's my favorite one. I played a bit of Silent Hill 3, which I also like. And like a tiny bit of 4. I didn't really like that one very much. What else have I played? And like a bit of a Homecoming as well, but I also didn't like that one so much. Yeah, okay, someone's talking about like Pokemon games. Yeah, I like Pokemon. Pokemon's kind of like, I don't like Pokemon so much anymore. Like, I still like the old stuff a lot, and I like the original like Pokemon anime. So, I mean, I still like Pokemon a lot, but like mostly it's just like the old stuff. I don't really play much of the new games anymore. The last one that I really liked was like Y, like X and Y. Which is kind of ironic because that's the one that most people like don't like. But I found it really fun. But nowadays it's just like, it just kind of gets like harder to play them because like I always liked, well, when I was a kid, what I liked most about Pokemon is just kind of like the exploring the land and stuff, and like what I was like glued to my Game Boy when I was a kid. Like I could look at that thing for like hours and like not get tired, but of course now I get really tired when I play handhelds, especially when I have to read stuff because my eyes just kind of like get tired with reading. Even though I love Ace Attorney, I got really tired having to read it.
What? Huh? Oh.
And
thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
But yeah, like I love Pokemon when I was a kid, and I like just kind of like catching all the Pokemon and stuff like that. And I never really cared about the story. I like with any Pokemon game, I never cared about the story. Like, but nowadays in Pokemon games, it seems that they're all there is. Like that's all there is. Like the characters will like stop to talk to you like every 2 fucking seconds, and it's just like, shut up! I just want to go and catch Pokemon. Like your stupid friendly rival will always like stop and give you a tutorial.
Good gliders. You are
And it's just like, hey, do you know how to do this? It's like, hey, I need to tell you some story shit. It's like, yeah, okay, I don't really care. I just want to, like, go out into the world and, like, catch my Pokemon, okay? And then, so, like, that's annoying. Basically, it's like you're, like, the friendly rival, characters are just, like, they're barely, like, not even, like, rivals, actually. I shouldn't even say rivals because they're not really that anymore. Mostly you're just, like, your friend character, like your partner or something like that. That's kind of what they'll give you nowadays. And they'll, like, you'll have a tutorial at the beginning. I don't know if you can usually skip it or not, but I don't know if you can, like, I don't know if you can, I don't think you can. But then they'll stop to talk to you. And, like, that's just really annoying. I just don't like those, how the characters always stop to talk to you. And, like every few minutes you'll, like, have to, like, every character will have to say something. It's like, oh, here's some story stuff. And, like, it just gets, like, really annoying how you can't really be on your own anymore. That was kind of the beauty of the original, even though the originals were like a real grind to get through. Like, you really had to grind and stuff like that. I forgot how hard it was, actually, because I got the digital editions of Red and Gold, I think, for, like, the 3DS or 2DS, and I was going through them and I was like, my god, it's, like, so hard to play these now because, like, it's all grinding and it's, like, really hard. I could only do it when I was a kid. It's, like, really hard now because it takes so long and I just don't have that kind of patience anymore. But I mean, it was still, I remember really liking that when I was a kid, and it was really fun. And now even though it's easier, I like the fact that it's kind of, like, easy to, like, you know, explore and, like, catch Pokemon, and some of the gym leaders seem to be a lot easier to beat, and you could, like, level up your Pokemon easily. And that's, I like that aspect of it. But the only part, like I said, that I can't stand is the characters stopping to talk to you every few minutes just to tell you about the story. Because, like, I don't really care about the story. And, like, it's just like, oh my god, I have to go through, like, this wall of text again. Just for characters telling me something that I don't care about. And so yeah, that's kind of my stance on Pokemon. I don't even know what, like, I don't even know the names of some of the new Pokemon nowadays. Like, it just, you could show me, like, a new generation Pokemon and I'll have no idea, like, what its name is. Because I haven't been
really
keeping up.
Too.
Yeah, they've been getting super weird. Even though, like, the first, like, Gen 1 had some weird designs too, sure, but, you know, it gets like that. And that's kind of how I feel about Pokemon right now. So the last one I really enjoyed was X and Y, with this little, Pokemonomy feature where you could, like feed and, like, pet your Pokemon, and that was really cute. And it's kind of like one of those games that felt like it was right in between. It was right in between, like, the old and the new. Even though it still had a lot of, like, story stuff that I didn't really care about, and it had a lot of those characters who stopped to talk to you at the beginning, but luckily everything else after that was pretty good.
I know we talked about a little bit about fighting games, like, off stream, just, like, on our own time, but, like, have you ever seen or thought, oh, maybe want to try and give Pokken tournament a chance?
I don't know.
Because it's really interesting. Like, I like it. It's just arena fighters I'm not very used to, but it's like half arena fighter, half like traditional 2D kind of fighting game.
Like, cause I played Pokemon Stadium. I liked Pokemon Stadium, but that's kind of all. Oh, this whole thing over here.
I mean, because Pokken is just basically the Tekken team making a Pokemon fighting game, so you can really kind of guess how it's going to sort of turn out. But it's not bland. It's not even basically. Some people say, oh, it's a Tekken Pokemon crossover. Not really even that. Because it's all Pokemon, there's no real Tekken inclusion in it necessarily. Little Easter eggs here and there, but
oh no.
It's its own thing, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. It's got a different vibe than most other Pokemon games because it's the Tekken team, making a Pokemon game. But it's pretty solid. I actually really like it. I went ahead and bought it twice. We bought the original Wii U version, and then when we played it for Vid Games, I think it was last year, we I told this really funny story about how I was in the bathroom, and I was listening to music in the bathroom, and I was listening to the Magikarp Festival music because I hadn't heard it in a long time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, this shit's still a banger. And I was just like, I want to play this again, but for like Switch, because I know that DX is coming out on Switch, or it's already out, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. So I literally got out of the bathroom, went over to Victor and said, hey, you're coming with me to Target and we're buying fucking Pokken on Switch. And he's like, okay, and then we did that. I'm gonna go through a few more comments here. I'm still pretty far up here. Sega Herman says, you should give Breath of the Wild a chance. Well, I've tried to get her into it, but
like, I've played a little bit of it. I've played a little bit of Breath of the Wild. It's fine. I just, like, I really like Horizon, and, like, it's kind of... It's hard to get into something that has, like, mechanics that I don't like when I've played Horizon, which has a lot of, like, mechanics that I do like. Even though Breath of the Wild is, like, universally considered better than Horizon, I don't care, because it just kind of has... I just like the way it plays a little bit better.
Well, seeing as how everyone said their piece on Immortals, and even Ubisoft themselves being like, yeah, I mean, we did take some heavy inspiration from Breath of the Wild. Seeing as you're able to tolerate certain things like the stamina meters and whatnot, in Immortals, would you go back and try Breath of the Wild again? Not long term, like trying to beat the whole game, but at least try and get like up to like a champion and get a divine beast, like at least one, and see how much of the game you can tolerate, or see if you can get into it from there.
I mean, maybe, cause like the bit that I played. From what I already played of Breath of the Wild, like, well, the thing is, I was just kind of, like, thrown into it. I played a part that I just kind of, like, I played it, I played it at Sean's house, and then he was already, like, a bit into it already, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll play it, and then, like, I did. I was just kind of like, well, I don't know, maybe I just think, well, that was kind of a stressful experience, because I kind of had to figure out, like, I was trying to figure out what the buttons did and stuff like that, and then, like, Sean was like, no, why are you doing that? It's like, well, I have to figure out what the fucking buttons do, like, what do you expect? You can't just throw me into a game and not, like, mess around with the buttons, trying to figure out what they do. So, I don't know, just kind of stressful.
How's a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway?
I mean, well, at that point, I see why. Like, you'd have to... Even if you didn't start, like, at the very beginning, you would at least need to get, like, some time, as much time as you need to fiddle with how things work. And the game does teach you without having to do... Because you don't do any tutorials. I think there might just be some little text pop-ups, but they don't stop the gameplay. If anything, I think there are some text pop-ups that kind of like, oh, this is what does this. This is how you attack. This is how you shield or whatever you guard. You can parry off of that, and that's how you can defeat guardians, which I didn't even know. There's certain techniques that my friend Chase showed me which I was like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that. But you don't even have to know that necessarily. Those little smaller techniques, if you want to, do whatever.
I mean, I guess I just like I don't like some of the mechanics it has that I don't like is exactly what Horizon doesn't have. Like in any game, like already like that I hate stamina meters and I hate breakable weapons.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, that is one incentive for exploring, is that in most chests you'll find just a bunch of weapons, and you can stockpile just so many weapons. And you'll just be fighting stuff everywhere.
That's something I didn't like about Medieval, actually. I didn't like how it had breakable weapons.
Yeah. Well, because, see, there it's supposed to be situational, where it's like, okay, well, you only need the club for, certain things, and you can only use it a certain number of times, and then once it's done, and it breaks on you, uh-oh. But, like... So it was more of an inconvenience, but here in Breath of the Wild, because it's just, by its very nature of being so open, that leaves you with so many options that don't, and it doesn't seem overwhelming. It doesn't try to push you in any one direction. It just says, use your environment. Sometimes you don't even have to use weapons. You can find a fucking barrel and throw it at like an unsuspecting group of like moblins or whatever, and then if nothing really happens, even if it doesn't explode, you can then use your arrow or throw something at the barrel to make it explode. Or you can, if you have a campfire and you have a stick, you can go and take the stick, put it in the fire, and then just start setting the grass on fire, and that can kill dudes. But it can also kill you, so you have to, obviously be careful. But like, there's so many natural ways you can interact with the world that can have an impact on certain things, and there's always the puzzles and the challenges and the shrines, which would be like the vaults and immortals or something like that. So, I mean, I'm more so comparing Immortals to Breath of the Wild instead of Horizon, because number one, I haven't played much Horizon. Number two, like, structurally, Immortals is very similar to Breath of the Wild. Like I was saying, everyone says it's basically a clone. But,
yeah.
Some aspects, I mean, you can definitely see it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because Immortals is good on its own as well. It does certain things different from Breath of the Wild. Oh, so Ren is in here. And Ren says, I think Sword and Shield has an option where you can skip story stuff. I don't remember that, actually.
I thought I heard something about that. I wasn't quite sure.
Jonas says he's a beast at Tekken. Fight me. Step up. Put your money where your mouth is, Jonas. John is in here. Saying nothing draws me to Zelda. I mean, take it from me, Zelda's not for everyone. I was never much of a fan of, like, OG Zelda. In terms of, I mean, I played a bit of, I have NES Zelda 1, I have Zelda 2, which I haven't even played yet. Never played Link to the Past. My friend Chase, who basically, since like how I love Crash or how Aaron loves Spyro, Chase loves Zelda, my friend. So he's trying to get me every so often into Zelda, and he keeps trying to start me with freaking Ocarina, because that was his first one of the first games he's ever played. And I'm like, it's okay, but like it's just with all the talking and running around and doing shit for people.
Yeah, I mean, and like there, and then there's like, like I said, I played Majora's Mask and I like it because it's got a lot of cool stuff. But it's also like basically, like I've said, I've called it this before. I've called it anxiety the game because it is.
And you see how most open world games, because lots of games try to go open world. I think games today, a lot of them are still trying to be the next GTA, because GTA was one of the first ones from the PS2 era to go, okay, well here's a big city, you can basically do whatever you want. I mean, you got missions, you got things to do, you can do this and that, but you can also just fuck around, and just as much fun can come from that as, I suppose, getting into the story or whatever. And then you got games like Assassin's Creed, which might be sort of more open, if not, I don't know if it started linear. I've never played Assassin's Creed, so I'm not too sure. But a lot of games try to go open, and you got like I've been watching Aaron play Dragon Age, and that's kind of more open world, and Horizon's open world, and all this stuff. But when it came to when they announced that Zelda was going to go open world, I'm like, okay, that's curious. And then I really looked at it, and especially when I started playing it, I'm like, oh, it really felt freeing. The name of the game is freedom. You can basically, if you wanted to, if you had enough, if you felt you had enough shields and swords on you, you could do the 3 required shrines before you can get the paraglider or the parachute or whatever. Then you can go the paraglider. Then you could go. After that, get off the main little land that you're on when you first start, because after that, then the whole world's open to you. You could just go to Hyrule Castle if you wanted to. I mean, you're gonna get your ass handed to you, but the fact that you can do that is actually kind of cool, because it shows you that you can still scavenge, you can find stuff before trying to go face Ganon that early on, but you can go that early on. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like that before, because everything's in this one big world, and it doesn't feel, I mean, because I think in other open world games, it treats its open worldness, exploration wise and everything, still somewhat linear. You still have to do certain things in a certain order to get to the certain point for the main villain or whatever the case is. Or you don't have a villain or anything like that, and you're just doing missions and going around like in GTA. It's just a city where you can go around and do whatever, but there's no central point to get to or to gain experience to get there. And in Zelda, you do. It's the central, I mean, same thing with Immortals. It's Typhon. It's the main volcano-looking place, that vault in the middle. Or for Zelda, for Breath of the Wild, it's Ganon, Calamity Ganon, in Hyrule Castle, right there in the middle of the world. And you can do everything else in whatever order you want. And you can do the Divine Beasts. I think either you can do them, I think you can choose to not do them, or if you have to do them, which I don't think you do, but if you want the story, want everything, you know, from the backstory, then you should be doing that. But as it stands, you could do them in any order, and like, you know, having that much freedom and choosing which items you want to take with you. How much are you more of an archer? You want to use more bows than your swords, or do you want to do more close range stuff with swords? Then you can use hammers and other stuff like that. From what I remember, you got your bombs. You got the Sheikah Slate, which can help you do other stuff. Like there's so much, and that was what caught my attention. And I still can't exactly say I'm a Zelda fan, but like, I'm at least a fan of Breath of the Wild, and I wasted no time once I found out that they were making another Hyrule Warriors and basing it off of, it's like a sequel prequel, because it's a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, but it's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. I said, oh fuck yeah, and we got it, and we're playing it for the channel currently for Vid Games. So like, I'm into the Breath of the Wild world for Zelda, but if you're trying to try and inch me to go and try to play Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess or again Ocarina, I mean, at least with Ocarina, since it's the biggest one that everyone says is a masterpiece, which I slightly disagree with, but I'll try and go and see if I can play it, but like, it's just not going to give me that same experience as I felt with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. So basically, those are the kinds of games that I like and that I play. My first console was actually a Super Nintendo, but when I was a kid, the only games that I had were like obscure and or licensed games. So I grew up with a Nintendo system, but I had none of the games that everybody else had, like, you know, your Marios and your Zeldas and stuff like that. And so that's I had Disney games like Aladdin and Lion King, which I got that collection thing for, and those games are very hard, like especially Lion King. And there we go. And I had Killer Instinct,
Some dragons thought you
which I really
weren't ready,
liked.
but I knew they
But
were
of course, I
wrong.
didn't know anything about games, so I was
ready,
just
all
smashing
right.
buttons.
Ready for what?
And what else did I had? I had a Scooby-Doo game. I couldn't get past the first level. I had Ren and Stimpy. I don't even remember. Probably didn't get past the first level either. Somebody asked if I was playing this on which I was playing this on. I'm playing this on PS5.
What's up, James?
Super Fanboy Man. No, I have not played Kingdom Hearts, and I do not want to. It's definitely not my thing.
Yeah, definitely. He kind of talks about Kingdom Hearts. Oh, to answer Jonas real quick, what do you say? I'll clap those cheeks. Tekken 7. Well, if it's just Tekken 7, I mean, hey, when it comes to Tekken, you're gonna have to prove yourself across multiple games, dude. Because I've played 2, 3, 4. I don't play 5 or 6 as much as I used to. 7, I haven't played a whole lot, but from what I have played, it's just as fast paced as like 3. So like, I'm super looking forward to that. Oh, we should fucking do that for. I can imagine that being a BGT session if you guys are down for that. If we ever get that crossover to happen and I come down, we gotta do Tekken.
Wait, what? Damn it! What did D-Chan say? They posted something.
Oh, for the let me see. Is it weird that sometimes when I say I like a thing, like a game or show, etc., sometimes I never played or watched it, and only like it because it has a nice style.
That's fair. I mean, you could like anything for just like one reason.
As for who's my main Jonas, Yoshimitsu first and foremost, but I play other people as well.
Like, for me, like, for me, I could say that, I could kind of say like sort of the opposite thing, where it's more like, I don't technically like a thing, or let's take Borderlands for example. I don't like first-person shooters, so that's why I can't really get into playing Borderlands, but I do really like the characters.
Yeah. Well, I have a few things like that too. Like, same thing with me, except instead of Borderlands, just replace it with Overwatch, because Victor plays a lot of it, and I think but he hasn't. I've never seen him play any other first-person shooter necessarily. So I think what it grabbed us, what grabbed me for sure, was the character designs and the story. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be a first-person kind of game, just because of the fact that
Spyro.
I mean, just look at it. Online is the primary freaking, if not one of the only, almost modes. It's how everyone plays the game, and there's like comics and other things and stuff off to the side you'd have to look at to get the full story and the character relations, or the trailers, the cinematic shorts and all that. And it's like, well, that's cool, but like, why don't you just make a fucking movie or a show or something? And there's apparently stuff saying that that's in the works, but like, as of like right now, I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually get into playing it or not. But what got me into like that world, what made me look at it and go, oh, this is different in a good way than other
I have
shooters
never
I've seen.
charged into those bats before, ever. That is so weird.
Let's see. Everyone's talking about frickin' Sonic. I don't know why. Let me see.
Word of caution, little one. Wait until you grow big, like me, before charging those large enemies.
Yeah, I wish Res Lyric was like finished, because that probably would have been the one. I mean, look at that too. With Breath of the Wild being the one Zelda I finally got into, and I was like, oh shit, I'm super into this. Res Lyric was definitely that game for me, where I was like, oh, finally an in for me to be able to actually get into Sonic, because none of the other games did it for me. Like literally none of the other games, besides like fucking Sonic the Fighters, which is like still one of my favorites, just for how like rinky-dink it is, you know, and simple. It's very arcade-like.
With everyone talking about Sonic, actually, I guess I should say that I've not really been into Sonic either, because I've never owned a Sega system, so
yeah.
I've never really gotten into Sonic, though I have played a few of the games, like I have Sonic Advance 1 and 3, which I really like. And specifically 3, I really liked Sonic Advance 3 because you could like team up the characters. And then
oh, remind me again, which one was the one that Blaze was in?
Sonic Rush.
It's part of the it was legitimate. Hopefully it didn't make that sound like it was legitimate. That was supposed to be a joke.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past you to forget.
No. I knew. No. Thanks.
And I like what else? I really like Sonic Riders. That was a fun one.
But what about the one on Kinect that Angry Joe just absolutely loved?
I don't know, because I've never owned an Xbox. That's another thing I've never owned, people. I've never owned an Xbox. I've also never really liked Xbox controllers, except they're okay. Because I have to use one. I have to use a off-brand Xbox One controller.
Which so I wish DS4 wasn't poopy in terms of you have to keep it open and the way how long it takes, and just the setup of configuring configuring your DualShock to it, because it works wonders for me, and
yeah, but you have to keep the window open, and it fucking sucks.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I wish it wasn't like that, because then you would have no problem. Especially when you play OG Spyro and all that on stream.
Well, I don't have any problem playing it with the Xbox controller.
I mean, it's just kind of weird, especially because subconsciously, even if you're not looking at the controller, you still know that you're playing with not a PlayStation controller.
Well, yeah, just because it feels different, but like, I know because I know the button configuration at least, so.
Well, sure, but even then, well, I mean, I was playing Reignited on Switch not too long ago, and just playing with the freaking, because I bought a Spyro Pro controller for the Switch, and it feels weird. It's just not the same. The buttons don't necessarily feel the same. That's and knowing that, it's like, okay, now I don't know. It's a certain subconscious mindset that you end up having. I mean, that's why how you say playing Crash or Spyro on GameCube is really weird. I mean, it is. I have a couple Crash and Spyro games on GameCube.
But playing Crash or Spyro on anything other than a PlayStation is like super weird. Just like playing Spyro on my computer is weird.
He should watch his back.
I mean, true, I guess.
Like, I'm glad that I get to play it.
I mean, it's just, for me, it's not the sensation of playing what I know started on a specific console, on another console. That's not what makes me kind of weird about it. It's just the type of controller I'm using. Because since that's what you're feeling around for, that's what you've got in your hands, you know that you know what you're playing with in terms of controller. So when you're playing a PS1 game that's a remake with like a fucking Switch controller, it's a little weird at first. You have to go, oh shit, this is not a DualShock. I mean, honestly, I slightly got that sense while testing out Crash 4 on my PS5 with the DualSense, because the DualSense is structurally, even though it's a PlayStation controller, it's still structurally a bit different from a DualShock 4 or even any of the past DualShocks, which still retained that more classic shape. I don't know if anyone else in the chat gets this kind of feeling or if they're even paying attention. They're talking about Sonic still, but
I don't know.
Someone's phone is ringing, that's mine, sorry. Nah, Sonic Boom is trash. Joe, just get out. If you're talking about the show, that's debatable. If you're talking about the game, nuh-uh. Only due to circumstance. It would have been really, 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 really good if it actually had enough development time. And, you know, use an engine that, if it went fucking multi-platform, because it was supposed to, which is why they used CryEngine. They weren't really thinking about the Wii U, and then Nintendo said, hey, this game's gonna be a Wii U exclusive. And they went, fuck.
Fuck.
I can't believe how fast you found so
Kingdom
much
Hearts is kind of weird to get into, but once you're into it, you're hooked. If not, it's strange. Well, it's not strange. It's just that just means it's not for you. I played the first Kingdom Hearts as a kid, and I only liked it because of the Disney stuff, none of the fucking Squeenix Final Fantasy bullshit. And then I looked at it later afterwards, and I'm like, this whole game just is really dumb.
I think they mean
is just not fun.
I think they mean if you're not hooked, you find it strange. Not that you not liking it is strange.
I suppose, yeah, no, my bad.
Like, I mean, unless they do, which is kind of weird to say. It's just like, if you're not hooked, that's weird. How can you not be hooked? Like, okay.
Some people like that. Some people are like, it's Kingdom Hearts. Some games in the series might not be good, but they'll defend it, like...
But then Kingdom Hearts, like, that's kind of another thing where you could like certain things about it, I guess, because I've never played it, but I mean, I like the Disney stuff.
Welcome to Magic Crafters.
Like, that's cool.
I want you to
but
release the dragons, reclaim
it's
our
just
treasure, and recover the eggs
it's
from
such
those
a weird
pesky blue
it's such a weird concept. It's like a fanfic. It's like a Disney anime crossover fanfic, basically.
It's just really confusing, and it's just, ugh. I followed the story not through playing, but by watching others play it for hours on end, literally, and I'm like, I'm paying attention, and I still can't follow what's going on, what's happening. It really, literally is just heart, darkness, nobody, darkness.
That's kind of what I hear. That's kind of what I hear too. The story is so convoluted. It's just like, I don't understand how anyone could like actually like really be into the story, or how anyone could understand it.
I mean, when it comes to the gameplay, it's probably just, you know, standard stuff of just, okay, because that's what I've seen too. I'm watching it, it's like, you're going here, you're attacking some dudes, and that's really all it is. And it's just following these retreads of the movies, but like with like 20% of the passion that the movies actually give you when you're watching it. Because some cutscenes will have absolutely no music. The lighting will... I'm not saying that the lighting of the scene has to match how the movie looked, but like, at least give us some kind of like, you know, something to look at if the dialogue's gonna suck, or there's not gonna be music to fucking get attached to, or it's the same song over and over, like when the Pirates theme kept playing in the first game or the second game? It is the second game. I was like, the first time it popped in, I was like, oh, it's okay, I can see. And then it just kept going, and I'm like, okay, this is getting not epic anymore.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't like when things are like, like, oh, well, you have to play all of the spin-off games in order to get the entire story. It's like, you shouldn't have to do that.
Ren's like, me sitting here loving Kingdom Hearts bullshit. Sorry, Ren. Freaking, I don't know, like... It's weird. Because...
Yeah, but Dichon, you're more like a casual Kingdom Hearts fan, because, like, you don't talk about it as much as some other people do. Like, I know that there are Kingdom Hearts fanatics, and then there are just, like, regular Kingdom Hearts fans.
Because a lot of them are just like, this is so deep, and like, you really feel for this character. I'm like, do you really though? Because first off, you have to remember who's who and who's somebody's nobody and who's this, and that's just so
yeah, you have to like
the
thing. You have to remember all these things, and it's like, to me, it's like reading a book, because it's just like, because when I read books, and I don't read a lot of books, but I do have a favorite book series called Skullduggery Pleasant. I don't know if anyone here has heard of that series. I know some people have, because I know, Dichon, you know what that is, but if anyone here knows what Skullduggery Pleasant is, I love that book series. It's great. I still...
Ray does.
Yes. Awesome. Yes. So yeah, I love that series. It's got a lot of cool stuff. I need to restart it because I totally freaking forgot, like, what's going on. I got to, like, book 6, and there's, like, 9 books. But I have to start over again. I always like the 4th book the best. But as I was reading through them, because I get tired while I'm reading, and this is why I don't read, because I'm old and I get tired and I fall asleep. I fall asleep like an old person reading a magazine on the couch. And so it would take me a long time to get through some of the books, and by that time my memory of, like, some of the certain characters would, like, start to fade away, especially if they didn't make, like, a lasting impression, didn't make an impact or whatever. And so it would be, like, really, it'd be hard when a character would, like, come back and they would, like, say, like, oh my god, it's that guy, and it's like, I'm sorry, who is this character again? And then I'd have to remember, and I'm like, I don't remember this character at all. When did they come in? What did they do? Like,
it's good to do that. It's good to do that sparing. Yeah. It's good to do that sparingly, where it's like, and it does tend to happen when it's a long-standing series. Like, I can understand bringing characters back. Funny enough, one time my mom came home, I think from work or from somewhere, and we were all kind of just sitting in the living room, and my grandma likes to, watch her stories, General Hospital, all that stuff, and
oh god, the 48 FPS.
My mom comes in, and because I haven't changed the channel, and my grandma's just watching it, and we're just all kind of here, and my mom starts going, oh shit, is that so-and-so? Is that so-and-so? And, like, recognizing all these characters from, these actors and actresses, rather, from back when I guess she must have more regularly watched the show when she was younger, in which a lot of them were still around. The point, though, is that series like that, shows like that, which I kind of like the idea of, but it's just really boring adult situations and a lot of dumb drama stuff that from my perspective, but when it's been going for like 30 plus years, and then you can bring characters in, or actors will stay on for almost the whole length of the show, and they'll do callbacks from like 15 seasons ago.
Like, it's cool, like, but it's like really confusing. I can imagine how it would get, like, super confusing. shows like that were exactly where you were saying like, oh, it's just boring like adult situations and drama. It's like that's why I love Friends, because it's funny adult situations and drama.
But like if a sci-fi show did that, like I don't know, maybe the different iterations like Star Trek do it or something, I don't know. But do callbacks to the other shows or the previous iterations or other characters or whatever, or crossovers even, I don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the superhero shows are doing nowadays, but they're just, even those are kind of convoluted, and you have to have watched all of them or whatever, because, like, we tried, okay, so my mom and I tried watching Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was the crossover TV event between, like, Supergirl, Arrow, The Flash, and a couple others, because they had cameos from everywhere, and because it's Infinite Earths, they even left a small cameo for Smallville, and my mom and I, according to my mom, I didn't really understand Smallville, and I didn't really care for it when I was a kid, like a little kid, and it started in 2001, so I was like 6 or so. But then later on, like season 3, 4, especially 5 onward, I got hooked on it. So now that's like our show.
Right.
So we wanted to watch Crisis for the Smallville cameo and see what they did with Tom Welling's version of Clark. Not that they did much in the end, which really sucks. But like, these fucking shows wouldn't exist really in its current state if it wasn't for Smallville. But whatever. Point being though, that all these crossovers, all these weird cameos, and all these things that like. I think in their respective shows, those, like, a couple episodes preceding up to Crisis probably built for it. And that's what I'm going to assume, because they just threw you right in, and no one was established, and nothing was going on, and I'm like, oh my god, who the fuck? There's like 20 characters on screen, and I have no idea who any of them are besides, like, Arrow, and maybe Superman. And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? So it can get confusing, and especially if you want to tune into something particular for this big event, which I understand it's for the viewers who are already tuned in. To other outsiders like us, it's going to be really confusing, and I feel that Kingdom Hearts bringing it back.
Hold on. The Fenrir Asa. Oh no, I never met her. I never met her in person. I said I talked to her on DeviantArt back in the day.
Thank you for releasing me.
Like, and that was before, you know, she made Has-Been and Hell of Lost and got super popular. That was even before she started working on the Zootopia comic, which I really miss, by the way, because I still like Zootopia.
Let's see. Design, okay. For this reason, in the comments, I will call it Kingdom Farts. Yeah, that's what I call it too. Seth Bryan asks, do you think Crash or Spyro has a chance of being added to Smash Bros. Ultimate by the end of Fighter Pass 2? I definitely want Crash to be in there, and I think he will at some point. CTR, or yeah, no, Nitrofield did great with character returns, but that's for the fact that the game didn't have so many people. That was more so just for the sake of it's a spin-off, it's non-canon. They can do whatever they want with all the characters. It's like Tekken Tag 2 or Smash Brothers, where like you could just bring in this giant freaking roster purely for fan service, and that's exactly what those games did. Tekken Tag 1 brought in just about everyone, with a few exceptions, from Tekkens 1 through 3. Tag 2 brought almost everyone from Tekkens 1 through 6, and I was like, oh my god! And characters we hadn't seen in 2, 3, 4 games prior all were updated, like the old school characters too, some of them were updated and brought back. And I was like, oh, this is dope, like not seeing some of these characters, not having seen them in so long, and the last time we've seen some of them, they were polygonal on the PS1, now they're on PS3. Looking all super HD and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. But yeah, so for CTR, or for Nitrofield, yeah, like, we had no reason to believe that they were going to do anything of the sort, and Crash has never done anything like that before, so, like, the fact that they did it and referenced the Game Boy games, the mobile games with Yaya, and, you know, everything post Naughty Dog, in a Naughty Dog remaster, like, that's just so cool. I still think Spyro can do something similar too, but in less of a sports spin-off kind of game and more of like a, I mean, the only way I can see it happening, but that's just my idea, is a more almost Hyrule Warriors-esque, like kind of beat 'em up, sort of, where you can take control of multiple characters, and they can all have different abilities and stuff, and you're just hacking away at dudes. Like that would be really cool. Ray says Doctor Who's original 1963 to 89 run started doing callbacks to older stories and character returns, starting with Tom Baker's 7th final season. That was pretty cool. I mean, but that makes sense too. Yeah, when it's a long-running show like that, and there are the different iterations, there's always a different Doctor. They'll bring in some of the past Doctors for cameos or little guest appearances and stuff. So it's always like a, oh my god, when like you see them, you know, for the most part.
I tried to watch Doctor Who. I couldn't understand it.
I only got like 5 episodes into, I forget which season, because there was one on Netflix, and I was like, this is weird. And I wanted to keep watching, but I just fell off the radar. I was like, eh.
I tried to watch like the original one, like from the very, very beginning.
Ooh, yeah.
But like, so I heard, and I like I was watching it like, what the hell is going on? Like I don't get it, and like I'm not understanding it, because it was like the cavemen or whatever. I forgot how it started. It was something like that. But then, so I was like, I don't know, this is kind of boring. But then people were saying like, oh no, it doesn't get good until you get to the Daleks, and I'm just like, okay then. But then there are people like, oh, if you start with the original, you don't just skip to Daleks. You gotta start from the very beginning. I'm just like, okay, what do you people want me to do?
Probably don't ask the fan base. Just watch it to watch it. I mean, fan bases get feral sometimes. Everyone talks shit about the Crash fan base, and I don't consider myself part of that. I consider myself part of the overall YouTube Crash community with all the other YouTubers, but I don't put myself.
I watched Supernatural for a while. I liked that, of course. The thing is, I liked the beginning.
That scared the crap out of me as a kid.
It was well, I mean, there are some episodes that I don't like to think about. Yeah, exactly. I don't. There are things I'm just like, I don't know why I'm watching this. This is horrifying. I hate this. It could get super violent, and I'm like, I don't like this. I hate this stuff. But like there's stuff in it that's really interesting, and I liked the paranormal like investigation aspect of it, of like the earlier stuff and like the mystery. I loved the mystery aspect of it, so that's why I watched it. But the thing is, it's just like, I really liked the early episodes when the mystery, like, it was just like 2 guys like hunting down the monster of the week, you know?
Yeah.
And then it got all religious, and I was like, oh, okay.
Ooh. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's not really my thing. I
mean, you kind of sound like my mom with Smallville. I won't talk a whole lot about it, but basically how she's like, she loves seasons 1 through 5. She can tolerate 5 because those were like the Clark growing up from a teenager into a young adult kind of half of the series. It's only 10 seasons long, and
yeah.
It starts with like, the freak of the week. And
D-chan says the thing about like how it ended. Yeah, something about like, there was something about Destiel. I forgot. I watched Sarah Z's video on it, but there's something like that. I still have that. I have that Dean Funko that that D-chan got me. So I have a Dean Funko. Yeah, it's like, it's fine. I liked the early stuff. I think I got as far as like season 4. I got like into season 4. And then I was just like, okay, now it's getting weird. I like Castiel and whatnot, but I mean, it's just, it got just a little too weird for my
Try
taste.
combining your supercharge with jumping and gliding. And really
what I think did make it cool about
explore
the first half of Smallville is how, because my mom sort of was like, oh, maybe you should see if Aaron would like it. I'm like, well, it's superhero stuff, and we don't talk about that a whole lot, so I don't know if you.
I mean, I like superhero stuff. That's fine. I love Marvel. I'm not that into DC. I like Marvel though.
Well, what I like about Smallville, what it does that I feel no other real Superman adaptation, especially shit after Smallville, like fucking Man of Steel, tried to do like. I can agree. Well, I like the whole series. I like the series as a whole, even the later seasons. How stupid the writing gets, and character motivations, and how they bring characters back, and.
Hey, Junior Fontaine, just sub. Thank you so much.
Cool. Like.
Enjoy
okay,
your time.
I didn't finish the original thought. The first half is Clark growing up with his parents, all that. Jonathan dies. That's not a spoiler. It happens in every iteration of Superman. Like, it's the growing up, learning how to use his powers, obtaining his different abilities through just, it happens randomly, he has to learn how to control it, then he has to use it out in like an actual situation to save a friend or someone. And then, it's all really cool, and it's pretty, freak of the week, a new, different, someone with superpowers or whatever that he has to go and stop. And then, season 6 onward, I mean, as early as season 4, they introduced, like, Flash, his name is Impulse or whatever in this version, and stuff like that. And certain characters from DC, like Aquaman or Cyborg, they'll bring them in because they do have like this like Justice League, but you can't call it Justice League, quote unquote, kind of little episode where it's like they all come together and stop like Lex or whatever. And then season 6 onward to 10 to the final season is pure superhero shit, especially seasons 8 through 10 are just pure. Okay, now you got Black Canary, Green Arrow.
I might actually
Zatanna.
like that. I mean, it kind of depends.
But the writing gets like really stupid.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess if the writing is stupid, I don't know.
Really corny and cheesy. I mean, the whole show is cheesy as shit.
Well, I might like that because I do like Power Rangers. That's pretty cheesy.
I mean, you're getting me excited to. I mean, I'm still in the middle of season 9. Actually, I'm nearing the end of season 9 with my mom currently, and she doesn't even remember season 10 that much because she only really watched it in its entirety when it aired on TV back in like fucking 2010 or 2011. So she'll just be there like just with her hand on her head like, this is stupid. That was stupid. Why did she say that was stupid and stuff like that? But like, Mom. She just walked through the door. She came home from work. Seasons 6 through 10 of Smallville. It's just how drastically the tone started to shift, so they could be like, okay, introduce Lois Lane, okay, do this, okay, introduce them loving each other, because they're the ones who had them together.
Introduce them loving each other.
She was introduced in season 4, but they didn't start getting lovey-dovey until season 8. And it was hella forced.
Oh.
No, yeah. No, the way you say I rant about stuff like Sonic and Skylanders is the way my mom gets about Smallville. Because we've had conversations upon conversations about how they've changed Smallville and all that stuff. But,
that's fair.
Ew. No, if you're for the corniness and the super abilities and stuff of it, the special effects, I was gonna say, yeah, my mom said it's a good watch. If you're actually interested, I would say we will find it somewhere in 1 through 5. See? I'd be more than done watching it with you. No, we were watching. That's what she was saying.
Where like things can be funny, you get interested in it, but for the most part,
Yeah, the religious side of it, right?
No, it's not so religious. Well, I get how they wanted to incorporate it because then they were trying to make it like a lore. They're trying to make this thing of them. But it started getting like in conflict. And some of them got boring. It was getting boring. It's just the same. I don't understand how it lasted 15 seasons.
I didn't think it was like boring necessarily. I just thought it was getting super weird. Like, cause like when they started introducing like the demon stuff and whatever, and like, oh, your family member could be like possessed by a demon, but like okay, this is like where it got super weird to me, because like it would be like, oh, people get possessed by demons, and then you have to like people make deals with demons, but to make a deal with the demon, you have to like make out with it. So like,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like, but if your family member like gets, if you make a deal with the demon that's possessing your family member, you have to do some incestual makeout. And I'm like, okay.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Don't know about that one. Real quick on the Tekken topic for Jonas.
Actually, no, that Jonas was saying the thing. Yeah, DC has like good animated shows. Like when it comes to DC, I like their cartoons and stuff like that. Cause I love Batman the animated series, and Static Shock is DC, right?
I think.
I think it has to be because they had crossovers.
The Batman is one I love.
Yes.
Which thankfully you're getting into a little bit more. Real quick for Jonas, it was Yoshimitsu. Among some other characters, but first and foremost, if you wanted my primary main in Tekken, it's Yoshimitsu. He says the Harley Quinn show was god tier. I've seen clips for it being more mature with its humor and whatnot. It's okay. It's kind of funny.
Harley Quinn has some funny stuff in it. It's not really, it's not all my kind of humor. Because like some of it's just stuff where I'm like, what? Like.
I will say Poison Ivy is good though.
Yeah, she does look pretty attractive.
Let's see. What was the other? But yeah, look, my mom just walked through the door, and I just talked to her about it, and then boom, like there you go. That was really funny. No, yeah. I would be more than willing to find Smallville somewhere, and we could watch it together.
But yeah, DC is good. Good cartoons. Like pretty much all, like most of the Batman series that I've seen have been good. Like Batman the Animated Series, the Batman. I've seen a little bit of Batman Beyond, and I thought that was alright.
Yeah, I ran just talking about Batman Beyond in the chat.
I remember it, like, the thing is, I remember it, I don't remember, like, watching it. I'm pretty sure I've seen, like, a couple episodes, but I definitely remember it being a thing.
Yeah, I've only seen little, like, trailers and stuff for it, but I've never watched it.
Because it was a big thing on Kids WB, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was. I just never tuned into it. Especially when they started doing reruns of other DC shows like Justice League and all that. That was stuff that my mom used to watch. But I never watched that stuff. The only Batman show I've seen was The Batman. That's basically it. I never saw TAS, I never saw Beyond, I never saw Brave and the Bold, none of that. The only one that really grabbed me from when I just watched a couple episodes was The Batman. But I also, my mom and I would watch the animated movies together, and some of them were pretty cool from back in the day, and especially like in the 2000s to like early 2010s, but from like the mid to late 2010s to around now, they've been getting kind of weird, and ever since they underwent the New 52 route with the art style and the relationships and all that stuff, it got like really weird.
Yeah.
And my mom hasn't, it's been a while since my mom read the comics, so she's never really started New 52, so she couldn't really catch up on like how the animated films for portraying that stuff from the comics, and so we were looking at it just based off the writing, what the plots were, and then we kind of got Smallville on it and went, hey, this is kind of dumb now. Like we'll watch it, but it's like kind of dumb.
What else was I gonna say about Batman? Like, okay, so however, this might be a little bit of a controversial opinion. I don't think Mask of the Phantasm is a masterpiece. I thought it was just good. Like, I just thought it was kind of alright. I mean, not even kind of alright, like, it was good, but, like, it was... I don't understand why everyone says it's like, oh, it's an underrated classic, it's a masterpiece. It's like, no, it's not. It's really not.
I don't even know what
it's
that is.
It's not that good. Like, it's good, but it's not that good.
Let's be honest, Batman is the creepiest superhero. I suppose you could say that. He's the least interesting, in my opinion, just based off him alone. That's kind of controversial. People say, Batman, Superman, which one's better? Oh, well, some fucking alien that you fucking, oh, look at him. And it's like, bruh.
Fucking oh, blah, blah, blah.
Superman has layers that Batman could never have. And look, even when they try to make Superman look like Batman, it didn't work. Like, the two have to exist in their own realms, but just because Superman's the more... everyman, look at me, I'm like the, you know, not look at me, but like the, you know, the Boy Scout character, and it's because Batman's dark and gritty, everyone loves him. It's like, oh, he's so cool. It's like, whatever.
Dark and gritty.
I mean, Batman does dark and gritty well. I mean, I do like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Batman Beyond, I don't remember as much. I haven't watched it as much, but Joker and Bane definitely make those.
I remember the main villain in Batman Beyond looked cool. What was his name, like?
Scarecrow.
No.
Was it Scarecrow?
No.
Scarecrow's in there, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
Cool. Who are you talking about?
No, I was trying to think of his name. It's like Blight, something like that. I don't know. He looked like
Blight?
He looked like a glowing, like radioactive skeleton.
From Batman Beyond?
Yes, Batman Beyond.
Okay, my bad. I had another thing in my head. I'm sorry.
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking of the movies. I was thinking of Batman Begins.
Oh.
Blight says, everyone.
Yeah, so it was Blight.
My bad. I'm like, Scarecrow? I haven't seen him adapted into much in the animated stuff. I just haven't seen it as much. He's more so in the games and all that. I don't know if... I can tell you, I don't believe he's in the Batman. And if he is, I don't remember what he looked like or what he did. Batman Begins is Scarecrow, yeah. No, I had that right. That's what I thought Aaron was talking about. I heard Begins, I didn't hear Beyond, so that was my bad. They both start with a B, what do you want me to do? They're both alliterative. Because I was talking about the trilogy. Did Mr. Freeze come back in Batman Beyond? I don't remember. I don't know. How is Batman supposed to go beyond what he sees if he has to see beyond that? With his big-ass cowl. I don't know. Mr. Freeze was in fucking, the Batman, though, and Aaron liked his look and his voice.
Oh, yeah. He looks super cool.
I remember you looked at him and you went, oh!
Oh!
I was like, yep, that's
oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello there, sailor.
I love our Bonehilda. Can we play more? Can we play more Sims tonight?
Oh my god. Let's see what more hijinks they can get into.
Cause we can play with like all the other mods that I have.
God. This is the Amanda Show level. You're right, Peanut Dog. Yeah, wasn't Mr. Freeze done by Clancy Brown in the Batman? I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, Because he had this very just so, like, mellow voice, but the minute he shut up, I'm like, there's a Kuka. The second he started raising his voice, you could hear it.
Ow.
Oh yeah, Schwarzenegger played Frieza in the movie. Yep, and
Hell yeah.
which one was that again? Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin, yeah. Which I didn't finish watching. I tried to watch it though, just because like it was really funny. Cause like it's so stupid. It's just funny.
And says, Miharu, you know what to do when you play The Sims.
Make them fuck, cause that's what I do.
Oh, you should have been there for that session. It was amazing. It was the funniest shit.
Like the game has just become so much better with these mods. It's actually incredible. It really makes me wish that mods were a thing on PS4 because oh my god, D-chan, like you need to try some of these.
The Sims Frick Chamber. Yeah.
Welcome to Wizard Peak. This is my favorite supercharged spot.
I just feel like the Batman the villains always carry the story. I mean, that's true. I mean,
the villains
Superman
are the best part.
Superman has some recognizable villains, but Batman's are more enjoyable to watch for because they can be portrayed in so many ways, and you can still take them kind of semi-seriously. They could be just outrageous, but you have fun watching them be outrageous. They can be serious, like in the more grittier takes on Batman, and you get into how their thought processes are and how they go about calculating stuff or just doing shit, anarchy, like a Joker or something.
Yeah.
Or there could be something about them that's silly but you enjoy, like Bane's voice or whatever. Just how he shows up inexplicably and starts talking with his fucking respirator. It's amazing. But with Superman, I think it's more about him, and if you don't find him interesting, then, I mean, yeah, I suppose you're not going to find the entirety of what Superman is, like the series or the franchise or the brand, that interesting, which is unfortunate, because some interpretations, like Smallville, when it's got good writing, when it gets the writing good, it gets it good. When it gets the character development good, it gets it good, and it really shows. They try to go for the outsider, like he's kind of a loner. He's got his friends, but no one can understand the weight he bears, kind of bullshit. But the way they did it, which felt more sincere than trope-like back in the early 2000s when Smallville first started, you get the sense of, yeah, I could sympathize with Clark, kind of. I mean, when the writing's good, it is good,
Spyro.
and you feel
Thank you
how
for releasing me.
he feels he doesn't want to tell certain people his secret of his abilities or whatever. But then that gets a whole thing where it's like, now he's just not telling them for the sake of... Because they start, like, okay, so he falls in love with Lana Lang first, right? Who is a Superman character, before Lois Lane was ever introduced. But then there are certain points where, like, oh, a villain will try to out Clark, but because there are, you know, the meteor rock gives certain people abilities, and a lot of them end up becoming villains. You know, Clark doesn't want Lana to think of him in that way, that he's going to end up just doing bad or whatever the hell later, or he's... whatever the case is, but it's more so because, well, he's an alien, he's not a meteor-infected person, he's an alien. But even when certain people try to out Clark's powers, and then they end up just kind of, like, tagging him as, oh, well, he's a meteor freak, I guess, ooh.
A meteor freak,
But then even when he tries to cover it up later in the climax of the episode, because this happened on a couple occasions, and then Lana would be like, well, you know, if you had abilities or whatever, it wouldn't make me think any less of you. Like, bam! There's your fucking confirmation that you can be fucking open with her. He never does it. Well, he does it later eventually in the show, but he never fucking opens up. It's just... they'll throw any excuse to make him, like, not fucking tell her, and then and that's what causes the rifts in the relationship, and then blah, 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 and then they break up, and they get back together. It's like, oh my god. So the writing's bad, yeah, it stinks.
hold on, there were some things that I didn't answer. D-Chan says, there's one mod that you can't use because you have one TV. I know. Well, if it's the Wicked Whims mod.
Listen
Wait, what?
Well, D-Chan was saying that because I was telling them like about the mods, and then
try jumping on the stones there.
And then I was like, they're like, well, there's one mod that I can't use because we have only one TV.
Oh.
Like if the mods refer the PS4 version. Yeah, the Wicked Whims one. Look, I love Wicked Whims. I've already downloaded like a ton of animations for it just because it's so goofy. It's like it's incredibly goofy to look at. It's more confusing than it is like sexy. Oh! Orko, how dare.
Orko. Super Fanboy Man says, Mark Hamill's the best Joker. I would also like to include Troy Baker and Kevin Michael Richardson.
Hell yeah.
They're some of the best as well. The kid Superman cartoon was better than any Superman movie. That says a lot. Well, Superman movies are always very, like, campy in a good way or in a classic way, like the Reeve films. Or they try to go dark and gritty and it just doesn't work, like Man of Steel. It's just hard because everyone knows the story, so now everyone's trying to figure out a different way to tell the story, but sometimes it just loses focus. And especially what was wrong with Man of Steel and what that fucking evolved into is the fact that they try to set up a hastily rushed, new rebooted Superman storyline so that then they can just have an excuse for the next film to start doing the Justice League shit. And look how long that took. In the span of like maybe 3 or so years, you get Man of Steel, then you get Batman v Superman, and then Flash, and then whatever else, and Wonder Woman, and it all ended up into Justice League, and it's like, okay.
By the way, I got a mod that lets me have fingerless gloves.
Oh, yes! I can't believe you need a mod for that, but yes!
I know, like, because you need, like, it's just the custom clothes that people make and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. And then look at how long Marvel spent leading up to the first Avengers. Like, that's all I'm trying to say there. They were trying to rush to compete with Marvel, and they kind of failed. Eric Sipes says Dragon Ball did the Superman story better. What would you say to that?
Well, since I love Dragon Ball and I've not really been into like the Superman thing, then I'm gonna say probably yeah.
The only thing I remember about Superman TAS was Gilbert Gottfried playing that elf from the third dimension.
What the hell?
Who the hell? I have no idea. Okay, I don't know this. I mean, I don't know how many elf characters there are. Did it happen to be Mixopiddleic? Yeah, no, that's what they said. That's funny because Mixopiddleic is in
Mixopiddleic?
It's a very weird name. I only know it from Smallville. He's in Smallville, but not as an elf character. And that's the weird part. What Smallville tries to do is how certain iterations try to do certain things when they introduce characters from what you know from comics or series, other series, whatever. And they'll do it in their own twists, in their own way. So Mixopiddleic is just some kid from... What was he? He has the power of... persuasion. If he says for you to do something by command, you end up doing it. And Clark, being affected by magic, is also affected by this ability. So, if he tells you to choke, which he says to Clark at one point, he starts choking. And then he says breathe, and he can breathe again.
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in
he's a what's it called, like a bettor or a bookie or something. So he places bets on for games like football games and stuff like that. So he's always said about how the odds are always in his favor. He's one of those villains. And so he tries to, you know, he threatens Clark's friend Chloe, and then he has to go and save him. save her and stuff.
That
was actually
said. Oh yeah, Pete of Dawn. Yes, I love Dragon Ball. Actually, there's a story behind that. Cause yeah. All right, so the thing about me and Dragon Ball is, and when I say it, I pretty much mean Dragon Ball Z. Though I have seen like the first 13 episodes of the original Dragon Ball. Though it's like it was like the ocean dub or like whatever dub it was. It's like the original dub of it, where like everything was edited and it was like super weird. But I did that just because like a certain voice actor was in it, and I wanted to hear what they sounded like as one of the characters. So I was like, I want to get that one. So I got the DVDs. But so anyway, when I was a kid, I would catch it on Toonami. It wasn't really my thing because, see, when I was a kid, I lived in a world where boys liked Dragon Ball and girls liked Sailor Moon. That was the world that I lived in.
Bless you, dear God.
I know we don't like to we don't like to generalize, but that's just how it was. And so
for recovering so many of our
I liked Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball wasn't really my thing.
Would you like to go?
So about God, was it oh God, was it like it was
I agree with you.
last year? Was it like last year or even like 2 years
2019.
ago? Was it? Yeah, it was like the end of 2019.
Yeah, you were like, bruh, let's just watch this.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, and then like basically, I mean, this all started because like in
Do I have a flashlight?
in the Japanese version,
I see the strawberry.
there's a specific voice actor, Ryusei Nakao, who voices Frieza. He voices a lot of characters and other things that I really, really like. So, I was like, and like, there's a character from Snack World named Dea Falcon who I love that character so much, and he was basically based off Frieza, and so I was just like, God damn it. Well, now I kind of have to see, like, you know, I sort of know things about Frieza, but not too much, and, like, maybe I'll just kind of see what I think of this character, because, like, I haven't really watched Dragon Ball. So, I was watching, like, just some, like, clips from, like, what was it, Jump Force, which is funny, by the way. Freaking clips from Jump Force are so funny. Because the animations are so bad, but so, yeah, I was just watching a bunch of that stuff, but then I told Mark one day, I was just like, you want to just like watch Dragon Ball Z? Because I'm like, now I'm curious, and so we watched it, and eventually we switched to Dragon Ball Kai, because Z just has a lot of filler.
She was taking too long.
Yeah, it has a ton of filler that just like takes, like it takes a lot to get through. And I've gone back and seen some of those filler episodes, which some of them are pretty good, but we kind of wanted to just like go through it and just get the story and like the basics, and so
it's great to see you,
and it's a good thing for if you just want that. So we switched to that and we started watching that, and I was like, well, this is actually kind of cool, like, because I liked the stuff that was happening. I thought like some of the characters were really interesting. Like, it's funny how I watched it. You watch things for one specific character, and then like you start liking another character, like, and you're just like, oh, hold on, like, now I like this character too.
And then that's how it grabs you. Because you even were like, we're like, we already know that Dragon Ball's like over the top. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it gets downright silly. If anything, we can just be making fun of it as we watch, and we'll have a good time, and then that'll be that.
Hold on.
And then afterwards, we're like, oh shit, what's happening? Okay, what's happening in the next one? And then we're gonna watch the next one. And then afterwards, we're just like, cool, and oh look at these fights, and then we're like, I think we like this.
Yeah, it's like I think I actually like this. I remember the exact moment that I felt, hey, this show is actually kind of cool, and like that, and something something unexpected happened where I was just like, all right, this is like maybe this will be better than I thought it would, because this is kind of just a thing, and I was like, hey, this is actually getting good. Was when Yajirobe cut off Vegeta's tail. I was like, bro, that's awesome! Because it was just such an unexpected moment for a character like him, and I was just like, nice! And then I was like, I want to see, like, you know, what else happens. I was like, hey, this show actually can be good, and it can have moments like that.
And now, with as much more as you've seen, it's as if you can now talk about Dragon Ball as if you've been watching it for, like, years and years.
Yeah.
That's only been, like, one, for the most part. So much so, actually, to the point where when I went over and we saw each other in February, we were watching Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, we're watching Dragon Ball Evolution. And which I thought was really funny because, like, see, I didn't know that Evolution was based on, like, the original Dragon Ball. And so when we were watching it, I was like, oh, this is based on the original Dragon Ball. And then, like, and they said some of the characters' names, and I was like, what the fuck? I remember going like, oh, it's Yamcha! That's Yamcha!
Yeah. Because I had watched it prior. That was one of the first Dragon Ball things I watched, and it was just because I was like, okay, I've heard this movie's bad, and I don't even know anything about Dragon Ball. I just want to see. This is way before we met. I was like, I just want to see how bad it is. And I watched it. I'm like, oh, wow. As a movie, you could barely follow this shit. So I remembered it, and then I was like, oh, we have to watch this.
Yeah. So like, but on my own time, I was watching, like, I started like just going through the whole series of Kai. So I've watched all of Kai. I've watched all of Super. By the way, I love Super. Super is my favorite. Because that show is so much fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's like actually just, it's become one of my favorite anime in general. And I've watched some of the movies, like mostly like the newer movies. Like, I've seen the Broly movie like 4 times. Like, I love that movie so much. I've seen Battle of Gods. I've seen Resurrection F, which isn't horrible. Like, I mean, I know people like to say like, oh, it's the worst and it's so bad, but I don't think it's that bad. Like, I think I liked the Resef arc in Super a tiny bit better than the movie, even though the movie like looks like better, like visually it's just better. But I know like people have like mixed feelings about like Golden Frieza and stuff like that. But I don't think it's not the most disrespectful thing they've ever done to his character. That, in my opinion, would be the stupid Mecha Frieza shit from like those from those like the filler episodes. Well, not like, I mean, I don't even know if you would call it filler, but from like the very beginning, before the android arc of Z, like that served as an introduction to future Trunks. Like, that shit was so disrespectful of them to do that. Just like he should have died. He should have died on Namek. He should have died on Namek. It would have been fine. And like you didn't have to like bring him back just to have him like be defeated by this dude who like comes in out of nowhere and goes like, I'm super cool. I'm Trunks. Like, shut up.
I feel so sorry for all the dragons still trapped. Maybe once you...
Hey, Peter Donnie, he just shows up and Trunks kills him in like 5 seconds.
Exactly, it's so dumb. Like, it should have just been King Cold. Like, he should have shown him been like, oh, you killed my son, blah, blah, blah. And it should have been about revenge or whatever. Trunks could have defeated him in 5 seconds and I wouldn't care because I didn't really like him very much. But it's so disrespectful to do to Frieza because I love him so much. He's my favorite character, along with Frost.
And Goku still dies.
And Goku still dies, exactly.
Ray says Resurrection F had the misfortune of coming after Battle of the Gods.
Yeah, Battle of the Gods is a better movie. But Frieza F isn't awful. I don't think it's awful, at least.
AE86 No Bed says Mecha Frieza was building up the strength of Android 17 and 18.
Like, barely, though, because he didn't really have anything to do with the androids. Like, the androids were a completely separate, like, villain faction.
Peter Dunn says, what do you think of the Boo arc? Because I knew a lot of people who didn't like it. But I
thought it was alright. It's not, like, it's really long. Like Jonah says, it's very long. But it has some cool stuff. I really like Kid Buu. He's like really creepy, but he's like super cool. And, of course, like, just Fat Buu. Majin Buu is just like, here's my baby!
He's puffy and pink.
Yeah. He's a big fat baby. What?
What do you want?
Oh, Subway?
Okay.
Hooray. Sonic and Dragon Ball do have a lot of things in common, including their characters pulling crap out of their asses when it comes to canon.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Apparently people don't like how Sonic's writing... That actually plays into some recent news that apparently they're just kind of cleaning house. Like, a lot of voice actors are leaving following Roger Craig Smith as Sonic. And, freaking... Apparently, one or two... I think it was just one of the writers of the games left, or says he's not going to at least have anything to do with Sonic anymore, in terms of like whatever. But I mean, the writing in later games got really weird. Even fans are like, "Oh, they made Tails a coward in Forces," and I'm like, "Was he ever that action-packed in the other games? If you're not playing as him, because
it's okay. You guys are saying they did Future Trunks dirty. Who cares? The thing is, who cares? Like they made an arc that was that was focused, that was too focused around him when we didn't need one anyway. Like, I'm sorry, I have if you can guess, I have a kind of a little bit of a grudge against Trunks for doing what he did, but it just, I don't know. I don't like how much like focus they put on him and like try to like how like popular he is. Like, I just don't like it. I think, you know, they didn't do. I don't think they did Future Trunks dirty. I think what they did was they did Zamasu dirty because because they had no dynamic. Trunks and Zamasu had absolutely no dynamic, but yet he was the one to defeat him in the end? That doesn't make any sense. like again, it's just you throw everything away. You throw away what could be something cool, like just to have Trunks have the spotlight again. It's all about Trunks having the spotlight.
Ray, yeah. Sega says classic Sonic and modern Sonic are two separate worlds, which I don't take seriously, even when Forces did Tails real dirty. Been doing that since Colors. I mean, pretty much. I mean, well, everything's been done dirty since Colors, and that's not to the voice actors or anything, since that was the first major voice actor change for the games, and I guess with the new game we're going to get another major voice actor change, but it's the writing, and yeah, like I was saying, with whoever that writer was that says they're not going to be working on Sonic anymore, maybe that's, I mean, wherever they end up is, I hope that they end up somewhere good, but maybe it's a good thing for the Sonic series, specifically for the Sonic series, if they can clean some house and get fresh writers that can actually do some world building, some character building again, and not just
I'm not
be
saying.
all...
Well, I'm not. Sorry, I'm trying to. We're trying to have two different conversations here because you guys keep talking about Sonic. Can you stop talking about Sonic for a minute?
Blame Ray. I was already done a long time ago.
I'm trying to have a conversation about Dragon Ball with these people. I'm not saying that Zamasu did nothing wrong because, like, well, he did, but like, I mean, he was doing what he thought was right, but he was kind of like corrupted a little bit. He had a very corrupted mindset. That was just kind of who he was. So technically, he did do a lot of things wrong. And I'm not saying his actions were justified. It's just kind of like that. That's the character. That's the character. Yeah, that's the character he was. His actions were not technically justified, though.
I agree with what Ray said. Okay, I'm done.
Fenrir, we're not even talking about DBZ, we're actually talking about Dragon Ball Super.
Ray says DB's creator became more motivated by the money after Battle of the Gods.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like, people are just like, oh, greed and, like, oh, money. It's like, who doesn't like money? I'm sorry, but everybody here likes money.
We've got to have money.
Like, I know a lot of people like having money. I like having money.
Well, I guess, too, when you stretch a series further, I mean, it kind of goes with what we're saying with, like, Smallville and Supernatural and all that. I don't know if, I mean, Dragon Ball is in that realm where it can keep getting different show iterations or whatever, and they can keep storylines going, because it doesn't seem like anything's ever really ended, as far as I'm aware. I don't think I've heard, like, this next iteration of Dragon Ball is going to be the last of the Saiyan saga. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't think they've ever done that before.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep telling stories and doing different iterations, they're gonna keep telling stories and doing different iterations.
Anyway, Tournament of Power. Yeah, I like the Tournament of Power. It might actually be my favorite arc, or at least one of my favorites. I don't know. I actually know if I have a favorite, but I really liked it. Because I liked the. I mean, I like the concept and I like the fights. But I thought Jiren was really boring. That's the only bad part about it, is Jiren is like super boring as like a villain, because he's like the antagonist of that arc, but he's like, we don't even know him. He's just some guy who shows up and goes like, I am Jiren, I am the strongest, blah blah blah. It's like, shut up, what? I mean, like who cares about Jiren, because I like Dispo. Dispo is the best. Goku, Krillin.
Trey, yeah, which one of the Crash 4 levels are very hard and difficult in your opinion? I've got a video coming out on that. If you've seen my top 10 favorite levels, then you can imagine what my next top 10 is going to be about. So I would say, stay tuned. Fuck the blue team.
Fuck the blue team. Oh! Go,
even Beerus fears
Krillin. Fuck the blue team. It was so funny. We do need a rematch. It was really funny. It was like, Yamcha! Yeah!
I need to do some fucking, pull some Goku business and train in the wilderness or wherever under 50 million gravities, and then we need to do a rematch in Fighter. So it's been way too long.
You need
I don't
to
think I've
train
ever
in the
won a
wilderness.
singular. I don't think I've seen a singular, or I don't think I've won a singular match against you, or like a whole game against you.
Christ.
Too good.
I'm not very good. It's just you're not good.
Thanks.
I'm not good. You're just worse than me.
And I was like, I'm not good. You just suck.
And then once you actually get good, you will realize that I suck. And that's kind of why I don't like really play a lot of fighting games, and I only really play them to play as my favorite characters, because I don't have the patience to get good. Did you watch GT? I've watched a couple episodes of GT. But I got really, really salty when they killed off Piccolo, so I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
I remember seeing on what the hell was it?
Be on the lookout for
like in
attack
the
frogs.
fucking like
They are cold-blooded
Yu-Gi-Oh
killers.
DVDs and all that I had. I would see
Frogs?
some
And this
GT
used to be
commercials.
such a
and previews.
nice
Yeah.
swamp.
So I guess I ran with those for a while. For those shows. And this used to be such a nice swamp.
This used to be such a nice swamp.
I don't like. This used to be such a nice swamp.
Yeah.
That wolf says Beerus sure loves his pizza. That sounds like me.
I love Beerus. I love Beerus so much.
I drew Beerus for you one time.
I know you did. It was great.
Did I send it to you or did I just snapshot it for you?
No, you actually sent it to me.
Alright, cool. Couldn't remember.
Well, I mean, you sent it to me as a file.
That's what I meant, so it was more.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember if I mailed you a picture.
Thoughts on Super Broly? Well, I said that I've seen I've watched the Broly movie, the Super Broly movie. I guess I have to specify, but that's what I mean when I say Broly movie. I've watched it like 4 times. I love it so much. It's a really, really great movie.
Cortex Castle. The only thing I will ever say, and I sort of talk about this, Cortex Castle is actually fairly simple when you get into the rhythm of it.
Yeah, I mean it is, but
Oh no!
it's
Oh, it's so tough.
I remember.
like
Yeah, it can be aggravating.
I don't even know what I don't know. I have a weird relationship with Cortex Castle. I hate it, but it also has the same effect on me that the high road does. It's kind of like it's very much like a mix of slippery climb and the high road.
Yeah. But compared to the other level that's similar to it, sort of. This castle is way easier. All things considered. And that's reflected in my next top 10, so get ready for that shit.
Where you mean like your least favorite levels is? Well, your least favorite levels, like, I mean,
I don't think I shared the list with you, did I?
I think you did. I don't remember what your actual least favorite level is. I'm gonna guess it's like, cause I know you said you hated Run It By You, and I know you hate Toxic Tunnels. But that's about it.
Yeah, without giving out too much spoilers, yeah. Those do get mentions at some point. Off balance, rock blocks. Rock block is... Create escape.
What? Excuse me! Oh god.
Create escape actually isn't that difficult. It can get a little aggravating, but it's not. It's actually fairly short. Unless you mean the second half where you're trying to get to the airship, in which case that can be the ball buster. Even if you get through the Cortex part just fine. Yeah, if your whole thing is just getting to the end, yeah, this whole thing about Crash 4 is that no matter what you're going for, whether it's just completionist's sake, for going from beginning of game to end of game, you're still going to find a bunch of challenge in the levels. If you're trying to go for all the boxes, you're going to find some challenge, because some boxes are hidden in very what the fuck places. If you're trying to get the hidden gems, so you can do get the all gems and go for 3 deaths or less, that could be very challenging too. So there's always challenge in like everything you do. And that's why I wish some of the later levels in the game from
the title of this video is for clicks, but no, it's because I'm pretty damn sure. No, I'm pretty damn sure that Spyro 4 will be announced this year. But it's like, even if it's like not for a while, like the point is I'm still waiting for a Spyro 4, so like it doesn't really mean that it doesn't really mean that it is or isn't happening. It just means that I'm waiting. Like that's all it means. It doesn't really mean anything.
I mean, if there's anything to speculate on, it's that something for Spyro could possibly be happening. And
because if it was,
we have reason to believe it's going to be soon.
If it was already announced, and if it was already announced, then like the title would say "hyped for Spyro 4," but this just means I'm waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, CG was telling me about a monthly basis of how Activision likes to announce and then release things. So because it lines up with how we know later down the road when a game comes out for Crash or for Spyro, and then programmers or more so artists will come out and be like, here's the stuff I can talk about that I worked on for Crash or for Spyro. Also, we've been doing this shit for like 2 years straight, and like when you start to some of them, when they say, oh, we've been at this for however long years, then you can kind of go backwards to how you can work backwards to like when the announcement was made, or when something else, some other remaster or something was already out and already people were into it. So you can go, oh wow, so when this was still out, the next thing was already being worked on? Like, that's crazy. So, like, if that pattern is anything to go off of, then, that's why we're really thinking Beanox might be doing a Spyro game, and Toys for Bob are the kind of ones who are teasing it with how many Spyro inclusions they did, not just because they have more than their share in Spyro history, but, like, they could be alluding to a new game for Spyro, because they like to do little things like that sometimes. Although this would definitely be, I think, the first actually, it would not be the first in-game version of teasing, because N-Sane did it for Spyro. The cheat code, the Crash 3 cheat code for Spyro, kind of worked in N-Sane, but it didn't do anything when people first found it implemented. And then later, when Reignited was out, they made it to where you could watch the trailer by putting in the code on Crash 3, when you hover over Crash 3. So with all the Spyro inclusions and the fact that art book said Spyro on it for this next dimension, that had a little 4. I don't know. Peter Don says, if we do get a Spyro 4, I really hope we get the animal buddies from 3 back. Oh yeah, I do hope that the critters get some kind of more of a role than just, I'm an alternate character you could play as.
I hope Bianca's playable.
I would love to see Bianca and Laura in them, and Hunter's been playable a couple times, but to see them be playable. But the real question is, what would the professor's gameplay be like?
Oh my god, what would the professor be like?
Reading Spyro,
you get to do calculations, and you lose your pencil.
Everybody, we are in my favorite level. I know people are like, oh no, treetops. Haha, shut up, this is my favorite level though.
Ray says Beanox could have used Nitro Field to promote Crash 4 by including a few of the costumes. Well, the way they did
I
do
fucked
it
up.
was nice. This is my favorite level. Fuck. A non-in-game example would be
oh, come on, come on. All right,
was in
all right,
that one
hold on.
Pete says, this may be controversial, but I would rather play Treetops over Zephyr any day. I would too.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Well, Zephyr's just got really annoying fucking missions.
Oh, come on, man! Damn it. You know what?
For the upcoming, I said it earlier in the stream, but for the upcoming Spyro video I have planned, I didn't even mention Treetops, and I really should have. Because I do genuinely enjoy how intricately designed Treetops is. That's why it's one of the most unique Spyro 1 levels in the entire game. Because it's that navigation that really makes you think about what you're doing. If only Spyro 2 and 3 had more levels like that, and not just these flat-ass, you know, areas where it's like, oh, it's kind of vertical, but even some of the vertical parts get a little annoying if you're climbing something and it takes forever, or they're raining shit down on you. And it's just all about minigames and challenges, when I like the more straightforward gameplay. I mean, I still like 2 and 3, I still love 2 and 3, don't get me wrong, but like, if you're talking about like, oh well, what do you desire to see most in another Spyro game? Which direction do you think they should take? I would definitely say a Spyro 1 approach, and less of a 2 and 3 approach. Because look at how, this is like the only thing in maybe the flight levels that people have concerns about, or say are tough for Spyro 1. But then look at how much shit you can complain about in Spyro 2 and 3 when it comes to the challenges and the vehicles, and it's kind of the same with Crash. Like Crash 1, at most, what? High road, slippery climb, maybe. But then 2 and 3, especially 3, it's like, oh, but the fucking, the plane levels, and the motorcycle levels, and underwater is not very fun, and it's like, well, Jesus Christ, it's almost as if they try experimenting with stuff, and looking back on it in hindsight, it was probably a little all over the place.
Are you kidding me? Dude! Alright, alright. Let me calm down. And stop being fucking cocky.
Oh, that was bullshit. I'm way behind on the stream, but I just saw how you... Oh, that sucks. Onyx, what's up? Yeah, no, Trey, you don't have to go for it. Go for whatever you want to go for. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can get the best of your experience with Crash 4, you don't have to go for 100%. You don't have to go for anything else. Yeah, if you just want to get to the end, it's fine. Forget Spyro 4, I'm still waiting for Half-Life 2, Checker 3, and Half-Life 3. Well, if Alex is anything to go by from what I've seen of it, from the ending, which I won't spoil, I don't know. You know what I did here? You know what I did here? Valve is really looking forward to this year. That's about as much as they've been willing to say. They've got stuff in the pipeline. I heard that. That was, I think IGN or some other people covered it about a week ago. I am hoping that we get something, at least for Portal, because I don't know anything about Half-Life. In terms of the Valve world, I never got much into Half-Life. But Portal is super unique and super funny and really good, memorable characters.
No. Okay, no. Everyone shut up. You need to do this when you supercharge. Shut up. I know how to supercharge. Don't tell me what to do. It just makes me a lot more stressed because I do know how to do this. And like, when people say like, yo, you have to do this, it's like, no. Trust me, I know how to do this. It really doesn't help. Really doesn't help when you make me feel like I don't know how to do this, because I do.
Let me see, what was I saying? I don't remember. Punch of the Reckoning says Treetops provides a challenge and it's a lot of fun. Hell yeah. It reminds me of how I saw how to do that Supercharge challenge in an old PlayStation Underground, or on an old PlayStation Underground disc. There's a little behind the scenes, or I think
and just like that.
Or something. That's how I learned how to do it, was through watching that dude. Yay! I want more moments like that in another Spyro game. No other game does it that intricately. You just have a course to chase a thief in. You get like 2 of them or so, or 3 in Spyro 3 alone. You have the one in Molten Crater, and then you got the one in Icy Peak, which is Spyro 3, right? Yeah, it is.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I was like, are you gonna get it?
Oh, and Cloud Spires. If it's not a supercharged part, but it's another. I mean, well, that's just more common Thief Chase.
All right, well,
fine.
Well, wait a minute. If we're gonna count Cloud Spires, then we gotta count Midday Gardens.
No. I was gonna say no. Yeah, I talk about supercharged stuff though. So counting that was my bad.
And Bamboo Terrace.
Yeah. No, cause I mean no, but it's the same thing here with Spyro 1. I mean they try to do a Spyro 1 thing. That's fine, but in terms of integrating supercharge, especially because Spyro 3 went back to the Spyro 1 way of doing it, they didn't use it for anything as intricate as this level did. They just built a course, a little racetrack, and said catch a thief. They did that twice, if not any more times that I'm not thinking of at the moment. And it's like, that's not very intuitive necessarily. It's just kind of whatever. But this is like, it makes you think, and it's not even that hard once you know how to do it. It just seems kind of foreboding because it's not this classic. Every other Spyro 1 level up to this point has been like, okay, it's very basic. It's a basic U shape or circle O shape or squiggly shape that will eventually loop in back on itself, so you can go to the end of the level high up above, and you can go back and glide down to the beginning of the level to start over if you need gems. This level doesn't do that. It just loops around different trees. And the way it's done is you just go around and you've got one half of the level to go and do and find challenges to navigate through, and then the other half with a couple little supercharged things to navigate through. And I like that. I want more of that. I need to find a way, if I can, with that script of that video, I think I should, while I still have the time to do it, just scrap my video or just add it in later and just rewrite that part of the script. I need to write something about treetops in there because this is more of what I want to see in Spyro 4. A new Spyro game or whatever. If we're going to fashion like the classics, then
just call it Spyro 4.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, Valve. Yeah, I want to see Portal 3. Because Portal 2 is so good. Portal 1's fine, but it's a very short game. Portal 2 is like super, super good. Nobed says, this was probably mentioned earlier in the stream, but is anyone hyped for Godzilla vs. Kong? I don't watch any of that stuff, so I can't say that I am. But I don't know if anyone else in the chat is.
Oh, is that what people were talking about? I heard people talking about, like, Godzilla and King Kong, but I was just like, is that just like, is it a resurgence? Like, I mean, are we just talking about that again for no reason? Are we just talking about kaiju again? Or is it a new thing?
I don't know what's going on with that.
Because some people will just start talking about kaiju for no reason.
Oh, you mean a resurgence of that in the chat? I thought you meant in the realm of films.
No, like a resurgence of it, like in the fandom or whatever. Because like I just kept seeing it through my I just kept seeing it on my timeline on Twitter.
Well, with that, cause there is that. Well, with that movie coming out, I guess it's this crossover everyone's been wanting. I don't know if it's happened before or not, but
yeah, I think it has.
To be super hyped about it.
Yeah, there totally has been because it was one of the posters that Matt and Wooly talked about on the box art critique.
Ah, okay. Pacific Rim 2 was disappointing. I think Guillermo del Toro said that there's gonna be more with Pacific Rim and all that. I think they said they wanted to do a Pacific Rim movie with Godzilla or something like that. I don't know. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
Metalhead, aka the only boss in Spyro who doesn't completely suck. Toasty would like to have a word with you. I don't care how easy that boss is, he's fucking cool, and I don't care who says anything.
He does look really cool.
I love Toasty. Blowhard, I feel, was the one.
I think he has a cool redesign, but I thought in the original it was scarier. He had like a scarier presence.
Toasty?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for
just
all
because
you knew,
he was
it
so
just
simple.
some big man. Yeah. He looked like a really tall man. When I was a kid, that's what I thought of him. I was like, whoa, he looks weird as a pumpkin head.
He looks like a man.
And then you flame him, and then he's a sheep, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh my god, he is sheep. Blowhard has the name has. Well, the thing is, we don't know anything about Blowhard's personality, but I assume he's Blowhard.
Metalhead looks cool too, but I wish they gave him like an extra phase. He just has 2 phases. It's like, alright.
Yeah. I thought for a second you said extra face, and I'm like, what the fuck? Oh.
Oh yeah, I want him to have 2 faces.
2 faces.
They build. Someone builds another metalhead, but they give him 2 heads. Make him like Real Steel. That'd be fucking cool. Real Steel is a cool movie. I don't care what anyone says. I like
it's
it.
A Real
It's corny.
Steel.
At certain moments it gets really corny, but like in the writing. But the concept itself is pretty cool, and the design is pretty badass.
I don't even know what that is. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, you've never seen Real Steel?
No.
With fucking Wolverine, what's his name? Hugh Jackman? Wolverine. It's a pretty cool movie. It's one of those like
Metalhead,
underdog
what are you
makes
doing?
his way to the like underdog robot makes his way to the top kind of thing. And it's in a future where like robotic boxing is like this big sport or whatever.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It's really cool. I think it's on Netflix. We should definitely watch it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I really like it. What was I gonna say though? I do also think that they should return, because it was super unique and it just fit with Spyro 1. They should return to the bosses having a whole level you have to go through. I thought that was really cool as a kid, and when it came to
yeah.
2
Because
and
it was
3, just
more
having
about
arena fights.
Like it was exactly like, and the thing is, while the bosses may be like harder and stuff, and like in 2 and 3, it was just like a standard boss battle, and here it was more about the level itself being challenging than the actual boss. And I thought that was a really cool concept, because not a lot of games actually do that. In fact, I can't think of one other game that does that.
Yeah, exactly. What's cool too is that it's as integrated into the rest of the worlds that you're in, and in Spyro's world as a whole, the Spyro universe, you know, than the other ones are. Because the other ones, you drop down a hole and then you're in the dungeon, and it's like, okay, and then we gotta give you some backstory, and that's fine. You know,
but it's sort of like, but then in that case, it would sort of have to be sort of like a give and take, because that's what it is here too. It was a give and take, where it was like you have the level, which is the more challenging part, and the boss isn't so challenging, and then in the other ones you don't have the level, but the bosses can be more challenging. But so what would you want? Would you want one with a challenging boss level and a challenging boss? Like, the fuck? I don't know if I want that. Because if I have to trek through the whole level and be like, God, this is so much bullshit, and then like get to the boss and then not be able to beat the boss and then have to go back to the beginning of the level, imagine how much bullshit that would be.
Well, yeah, no, again, well, that sounds like a Crash 4 thing, and again, I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to... That's the whole point of my video coming up. I don't want it to be like this whole blow out of proportion to make it sound like I want a Crash 4 or Crash in general sense of anything like that for Spyro, because no. But what I would like to see is some kind of a level where you're traversing through and doing stuff like you would any other level, and then when you get to the boss, I mean, just keep it like this, but make it a little more like, okay, what did you have to do for Metalhead? You could attack the poles, or you could just stand there and let him do all the work. Now, that's cool because of the fact that there's 2 ways to do it. Let him be a dumbass and destroy his own stuff, or do it yourself. But then think about it from a productive standpoint. You're kind of just standing there waiting for him to destroy his own shit. It's not a very, like, action-packed thing. You just kind of show up and go, okay, destroy your own shit, dude. And again, they don't take advantage of any of the gimmicks. Even when you're chasing Nasty Nork, you're not speeding after him on Supercharge or doing anything like that, or using Super Flame through the Fairy's Kiss to try and do anything to him. Get through his... Maybe his armor is gold-plated and you can't do anything to it, and there's nothing else to help you besides a Fairy's Kiss or something. They didn't think of anything like that. Maybe they didn't have the power to do it because it was the first game or whatever, but like, I feel like they established some really good concepts and only sparingly did anything that thought-provoking with it, like in Treetops.
You know what would be really cool is like, you know what would be really cool is that each time if you go to like a new level, like you have a cutscene like introducing like what you can find in that level and stuff like that. You have like an opening cutscene to each like world.
That could be cool, but it would more so serve as visual.
I mean, sort of like what they did, but what they did in Spyro 2 with like the opening cutscenes for each level, but also opening cutscenes for like worlds too.
I suppose. I mean, at that point, it would just be what I'm going to coin right now. Heat of the moment is like, what's the fucking word I had? Visual exposition. So they're just showing you when they could just give it to you through gameplay, but they're telling it to you not through dialogue, but by showing you. And I'd rather not be told visually. I'd rather just have it and then explore and experiment with it. So if the gimmick is, I mean, there was a funny way to do it in Spyro 2.
What do you mean you would rather not be told visually? Like, what do you think they're gonna show? Like, I don't understand.
Well, I don't know, like,
because I like having it like like what Crash 4 does, like a panning shot, or like of like the world.
Oh, that would be fine, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. I don't mean like.
Okay.
Like an opening cutscene that just kind of like shows you the like the basics, or like not the basics, like like an opening panning cutscene that like shows you all that you can go through or something.
Oh yeah. Or Subway does the same thing too. Well, in that case, that'd be fine. I thought you were meaning like how to explain certain elements that they'd be introducing. Like if Spyro touched down and you see him gliding into the level in a cutscene, and then a fairy comes and he's like, "Oh, whoa, hi," and then she just like flirts with him and kisses him, and then boom, in a cutscene they tell you, "Oh, this is the level that gives you fairy's kiss," and it's like, okay. I mean,
no,
you just
not like
found
that.
the fairy randomly in Spyro 1. Yeah.
Like it, like, but if you go, but maybe like if you like go to a new world and stuff, and it has like a new power up that you can use, like you'll get that panning shot, and then like maybe it'll like focus on a certain, like it'll focus on a certain power up that's new, and then it's like, oh, I wonder what that is. But they won't tell you anything about it. They'll just kind of like have a close up on it,
it's
like
here,
a focus on it, yeah. And so
I
you
can
can like
see that,
wonder what that is. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here.
There's so much we could talk about in that aspect. Yeah. Basically, if I can plug myself real quick, I've got a Spyro video coming out. Just please watch it. It's very interesting. Hopefully, thought-provoking kind of a video. It's a discussion video, so.
Yeah, it's kind of goes off a video that I had, except more in depth. I didn't yawn, I stretched. Yeah, that's how I sound. Like, that's my stretching. Yawn sounds different. My yawn sounds like this. Oh.
Little cute yawns. Ooh. Peter Dunn said that the next Spyro should have no lives. I can agree with that. And
I can agree because I do not like lives.
That's a little bit of what I talk about in the next video. I would definitely recommend you, yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend you watch that. It's gonna have a new thumbnail, so hopefully people will click on it more. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for the stream. Thank you all so much for joining me, and thank you to those who donated, to those who are new subscribers. Thank you for that. And let's see, what else do I have to plug? I have a video that I want to get out by the end of this week. It will not be Spyro related. It will actually be a Shantae related video. I'm not sure when my next Spyro related video is going to come out, but I do have commissions being worked on for said videos that are Spyro related.
Cool.
And yeah, so that's gonna do it for the stream. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow me on all my social medias, join my Discord. There will be links in the description below, and I will see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu signing off.
See you guys.